Now this is fucked up.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a winner when the bird, bird, bird.
Oh, geniuses, be careful. Yeah, no shit, Shirley. Ain't that right, V? I mean, you are fragile at the moment. Wouldn't take much to wipe you out in a sticky situation. I'm just saying.
He's such a like interesting looking design. It really does look like
Who desires but
the goth
acts
kid
not
from
breeds
South Park.
pestilence.
The
To see
God,
the world
dang,
in a grain of
I'm
sand
so
and a heaven
conflicted.
in a wild flower.
He
Hold
is
infinity in the palm of
when he
your
starts
hand,
reading the
and
book. What does that
eternity
mean?
in an hour.
May not my flesh fail on me.
It means it charges your devil trigger. How do you do it?
The angel that presided on my birth said, little creature formed of joy and mirth, go love without the help of anything on earth.
He's aura farming in combat. That's why it works. All right, cool. I guess so, man. Bars. I guess. Bro.
To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower.
He's
Hold
so
infinity in the palm of your hand.
Bruh, there's no way this shit is cool. There's no way.
Coming at you, baby! Coming at you, baby!
That's not Patton Oswalt. It sounds like Patton Oswalt. Did anyone see Sandman? You know how Patton Oswalt's the Raven in that one? He's the Crow, right? Why am I saving the continues? Why am I saving the continues? Continuing gives lower rank. Print screen. What makes you think about any playthrough of the 7 DMC games I played so far? Makes you think I give a fuck for 5 seconds about the goddamn rank, dude. Oh, get him! Finish it! Yeah, get him! Oh!
Measured by the clock, but of wisdom.
Fucked
no
up by
clock can
Patton Oswalt.
Eagles suck.
Hey, wait. We could use that. Pick it up. Not that one. The other one.
to defeat his twin brother.
Is that Virgil?
Dante. In order to defeat his younger brother, he could only do one thing with the crumbling flesh and feelings. He needed to separate man from devil with the strength of the Yamato.
Yeah, but I've mostly been having a good time. This game's great. The only L to me so far is they got scared for it to have a story again. Bro, we do all this shit and Virgil's the bad guy again? like all what was the other X Games for?
Whoa.
You're not fucking with the Nobody in Heartless story? No, I'm not fucking with the Kingdom Hearts ass Devil May Cry. Bro.
Hello. Hey. Hello. Alright, okay. Good. We good now. Yeah. Okay, ready? Okay, y'all hear me? Yes, sir. All right.
Urizen is way more interesting, way cooler if he's just another fucking character. But if you tell me him and V are just fucking Virgil, like, what? Like, why? Like, bro, literally, stop being fucking cowards and give this game series a fucking story, please. Never realized how inclusive the game is? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
What's happening?
What do you mean by that?
You don't much look like her.
Yeah, I got my looks from my daddy. That's about all I got from him. But based on his research, I managed to cobble this. Consider it a gift in honor of us finally meeting. Meeting.
This is when all the old heads were like, "This ain't fuck DMC5." This is when y'all clocked out. All right.
I'm gonna
He
go
hit
too.
that shit though. I ain't gonna lie.
Why don't
He
you
hit
sit
that
this one
shit.
out?
Won't be using that. Sorry. Oh, so now we get the pick. Damn, back on Nero. I gotta go with Nero just for the song, I think, right? I think I fuck with Nero just for the song. Unfortunately, I'm a fucking V-enjoy. I didn't want it this way. But this, unfortunately, I'm a fucking V-enjoyer. Unfortunately, I did. I'm not reading. Don't tell me to read. I'm not reading. Oh, man. This character sucks so much ass, but he's so fun to play. They fucked this up, man.
High maintenance.
Was that it? Did I do it? Ah! Did I do it? Can I parry this? No? You can. You can. That was it, right? I parried it, right? I'm just gonna parry the shit out of him. I'm gonna parry the shit out of him. Oh my god, what happened? What? What happened?
Nero is my son. Yeah, dumbass.
Am I a God gamer? Am I a God gamer? Am I a God gamer? I parried the fuck out of him. You look, clip that shit and send it to Donkery. Ask him what's up. Tell him I said what's up. Tell him I said what's up. That's peak. That's peak. Look at the dust. Oh, the effects. Anime. Oh, God. Oh. Wait, who's that? Oh, come on. Come on. That's what I'm saying. This is what Martin Scorsese's really talking about. Method actors. I need you to be the Griffin.
But he announced his album. Everybody was talking about the song, though. It's with Future, Money on Money, Future, Young Thug. He seemingly disses Gunna, and he's popping out now for interviews, and he did an interview recently, which we're going to get into as well. Maybe because he's just got like a motion for probation violation. He's staying very clear. He didn't even really want to speak on Gunna. Young Thug interview. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, it's a GQ interview. Okay, so we're going to watch this. He has some type of contraption on his face, some type of mask. Don't know what's going on with that. But he did drop this new song. And if we go look at the lyrics, people are attributing some of these to... Okay. I think they think these lyrics are dissing Gunna. These fuck niggas telling for nothing. So these fuck niggas telling for nothing, and I gotta be the one calling them friend. For whatever reason, people attributed these lyrics to Gunna. These fuck niggas telling for nothing, and I gotta be the one calling them friend. According to the annotations over here, they're saying he's possibly referring to Gunna or his own brother. Nah, he's definitely not. He's not dissing his brother, clearly. Who both took plea deals. Gunna's maintained he has not snitched. I mean, which snitches maintained they did snitch. And it's also should be known that the condition of Thug's plea deal state that he wished to maintain contact with Gunna and his brother.
What?
So, wished to maintain. Should be known that the condition of Thug's plea deal state that he wished to maintain contact with Gunna and his brother. So, if he's talking about either one, his own words towards the judge was that he could speak or communicate with these people, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could watch this interview and see what the hell he got going on. He did, I'll give you the spoiler a little bit because I watched some of it, like some clips. Apparently when he did get to the Gunna question, he kind of phased it out. He didn't really talk about it that much. But I'm wondering what's up with this mask.
We start recording this. News broke that the state of Georgia is seeking to revoke your probation.
Oh, so this was recorded a while ago. By the way, this is for GQ.
You might not know a lot right now.
What did y'all think about the song? I'm on YouTube now, so I can't play it. Did y'all like the song? Obviously, people love the combination of Freudian slip, Thug and Future together. But is this song a hit?
Do you know anything?
What kind of jacket is that?
That's Young Thug, but you probably knew that. Since breaking out in 2011, he's defined the sound of Atlanta rap. Young Thug was courtside at a Lakers game.
Okay.
Ask first. I don't feel like people should see me. I mean, science making just fucking reconstruct, do something with the mask and get a clear picture. But just I don't know, hidden scars and just hiding things,
There's got to be a vibe or a spiritual feeling or something that is channeling you into this place.
Yo, Thug, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I don't like this aesthetic shit already. I'm telling you this right now. All you niggas that want to get on the Cardi elusive, super extra weird. Not saying Thug has never been weird, quote unquote, but this mysterious shit. Yo, Cardi's the only one that's killing the mysterious shit right now. Okay. The reason why I think Thug is probably going to have a hard time, even if he's going to wear a mask, I don't want to be seen. Brother, they hauled you back and forth from a jail cell to court for 3 years or 2 years, however long it was. And we involuntarily saw you every single day. We saw when you yawned, looked like you nodded off, when you supposedly received drugs. We seen everything you did in that goddamn courtroom. So for you not to be free and now you're like, yeah, I don't feel like nobody should see me anymore. All right, nigga, well, we tired of seeing your face anyway. We saw you 3 years in court, okay? And not dissing him. I'm just saying, I don't know if that elusive shit or mysterious shit works for everybody. I think it only works for one person right now, which is Cardi.
Feel big, Name my album is U.Y. Scooty. I feel like I'm one of the biggest stars. I did a lot, foundating this culture and, the new rap game that's happening right now. I'm out of this world.
That
Not
was
like God though.
Not like God though.
No.
Just like an artist.
Yeah. Under God. Under God, for sure.
Was there a moment when that realization arrived?
Yeah, I was actually in court. I was on trial.
Oh, you were on trial?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You didn't know I was on trial?
You had lyrics of yours used against you in court. How'd that feel?
I feel kind of crazy and cool because it's like, oh, everybody listen to me, you know?
Yeah.
But crazy, like the first fucking amendment is freedom of speech. Like it's crazy. Well, third or fourth, but like the top 5.
If I understand correctly, part of the terms of the probation are like there's certain things you can't talk about, right? On records now?
Like I can't do nothing like gang things or stuff like that on the internet.
Right.
I could really talk about what I want to talk about in music.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't feel inhibited in any way on the new record? Didn't change the way?
Nah. I normally like rap about cool things, you know?
I do have a theory about the mask too, though. You know, and again, see if you rock with my analogies or my comparisons, but I like jail really takes a toll on all of these guys. It takes a toll on everybody, and to be incarcerated for 3 years and just thrusted in front of a camera, like a lot of times you're not the healthiest, or whatever. Like, I mean, look, very extreme example, but Vybz Kartel for 13 years. He came out, nigga looked like he had a frog head. Found out he had Graves' disease. I think Thug is still acclimating to societies. I don't know if he had health problems or whatever, but we did see him gain some weight while he was locked up. Even his face started looking a little bit different while being in court, and really was just, it's a very different lifestyle. So I think once he gets back to the regular shit, I don't think he's going to be wearing a mask this whole time. I think this is probably just to be a little bit edgy, try to keep a little bit mystery because he hasn't really said much since his incarceration, and probably the fact that he was locked up, and who knows, nigga might have a skin condition or some shit like that. Like, what I've learned in this industry is, like, sometimes we overthink it. Sometimes if a nigga's wearing a mask, nigga might just have, like, something going on, bro. Like, it's that simple. It's not like, oh, my God, this guy's like, no, never usually that.
I just got, like, a few lyrics where I just rap about street stuff.
Uh-huh.
And those are the lyrics that they try to use against me. But
yeah.
most of the time, I don't rap about that type of stuff, you know?
Does it make you think twice about rapping about street stuff?
Yeah, because just like the impact that you got on the community, the youth, and not because of like the law. It's more so just like realistically, like kids actually listen to us. Like, all right, we got to like dumb it down. So, I listen to like new rappers now, and I'm like, my kid can't listen to that. That's great.
Really?
So I'd be like, damn, like so contradictory.
What can you say about the experience of being incarcerated for more than 2 years?
It was real.
Yeah.
Don't want to deal with it again, but definitely it was real.
Were there moments that you wondered if you would ever get out?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Are you thinking about yourself, your family, your career? Like, where does the mind go?
Family, kids, career was like last. That was like relevant.
Really? So you I mentioned this before, but like you went in at kind of at the height, the pinnacle. I could see wondering like, oh, am I going to get that back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll get it back.
Yeah, jail doesn't really hurt people like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna use YoungBoy for that example. I think YoungBoy aura points went up by going to jail. I think people are more anticipating his music. I think people are appreciating him more. Like, again, he's always a huge star, but I think right now, him just getting out, they haven't been, sometimes YoungBoy overexposes himself, and I don't think by his own doing, but he does so much and he gives so much to his audience, they take it for granted. And it's not until they have a legit, valid reason why they can't get any piece or part of him, that they start appreciating him a lot more. For example, now. So, Young Thug, no matter what, Young Thug's a legend. Whenever he had gotten out, people were going to be intrigued to hear his conversations about, yo, do you still fuck with Gunna? What was your experience in there? What was, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think his career, no matter, even if he was locked up for 4 or 5 years, I don't think that's for everybody, though. But Thug's a legend. It just is what it is.
Because as an outsider, it was crazy to watch. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This guy is like at the top of the craft, and now he can't do the thing that he does.
It happens like that sometimes.
Does it happen like that?
I said sometimes.
Sometimes. I think it would be human to feel in that situation like, a great injustice is being done to me. Did you ever feel that way?
Absolutely. Every day.
Really, every day?
Yeah. Innocent man.
It ended up being the longest criminal trial in Georgia history, you think?
Yes.
Something so crazy that had never had happened before happened, and you were at the center of it. Did it feel personal?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hopefully personal.
Yeah.
But shoot, we made it back.
Is that a crazy feeling to be like, I'm this big, and I'm also in a cell?
Yeah. I think I'm too big for jail, but I think like I'm not too big for God.
Yeah.
So like God could put the biggest person in there. I feel like I'm taller than the jail, but somehow he could just like squish me in there. I think it was like a God thing, just showing me like, you know, situations, real friends, and who you with you, and how to move and how to be, because you are UI Scooty.
Tough to feel bigger than the jail when you're
for sure
in the jail.
Yeah, it's just like how I was treated, how the officers treated. It's just like, damn, I don't got no bitches here. Like the fucking officers who work in the jail are fans. Like
they were
working, they 20 years old. It's like, damn, you're a kid,
and they're
telling me what to do.
Telling you what to do, yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. My kids tell me what to do. My girl, everybody tell me what to do, but like to actually just sit like while I'm on punishment, and you guys are my parents.
You guys are my parents, except you're gonna go home and listen to the record, maybe.
Yeah, you like parenting me and telling me like, you the fucking one, bro. Like what you say on this song, like what? It's just like so crazy. Like,
that must be
a commentary. You want you in
I think
Discord?
God put me in there for a reason, and I know.
Yeah, what's the reason?
I don't know. I think like because I always felt like I was a big guy. So it was like, why do I gotta go to jail for you to like show me something? Why you just can't tell? I guess I was just hard. And I think,
you know, and I'm sorry if I Vibes Cartel you guys to death, but you know, Vibes Cartel answered that same question by, you know, asking if there was a lot of regret.
Brother. I'm in the Discord. You talking about Thugger?
He admitted that his career was affected by going to jail or prison actually for 13 years. But you know what he said?
Fuck you,
he
bro.
felt that it was a divine.
Hey, I ain't on right now. I'm finna go. I'm finna leave in a minute.
It's cool, bro.
Bro, why you listening to him, bro?
Thug. I don't know, bro. He just. I haven't listened to Thug in a minute, so don't get me wrong.
No, I ain't talking about Thug. I'm talking about the nigga commentating on it.
Oh, you talking about academics?
Yeah.
Oh, because he keeps me in the loop of what's going on. You feel me? Then if like such like this Shannon Sharp shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I get all the deets from his ass because look,
I ain't got a problem with him. I just don't respect him.
I mean, yeah. So he like all this shit. I be listening to this shit at work when he on the live stream and shit. Cause that shit wild as hell. What's going on with Unc ass? You feel me?
Yeah, he. You know what they said? They took I guess he was doing that. What's that shit called when you tie up the female? And you be spanking her and all that.
S&M, BDSM and shit.
Yeah, that weird shit. I guess they took a clip of that and made it seem like it was a phone call while they was in the act of doing that shit.
Damn.
I guess he finna cash her out though.
Man, he offered 10 mil, bro. She wasn't taking it.
She won't take it?
She take the 10 mil.
Damn. He probably wanted to pay the 10 mil so that tape don't come out. He probably is dressed up in a gimp suit.
type shit. That man,
I'll be on like around 12 or 1, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, be smooth, bro.
Gotta wake up and in my face on my way to the top. You tried to play with me, you wanted to be fake. I don't give congratulations from it's always gotta be one talking shit. It looked like he's a very neither here nor there. The comment was, well, he responded to the post I said about dudes still sending wee pics. And my thing is, showing your dick is nudity. I'm not nude, and I'm not showing my nipples or my breasts, my areolas, and things of that nature. I'm just showing cleavage. But he had to come out his mouth and said the person that's showing her tits. And I'm thinking to myself, sir, you need to get a life. I could see if I was flashing my titties all over social media, but I'm not. And I'm not sending my boobs and inboxing them to random niggas saying, here you go. Even if I was posting my titties all out, it would not be to social media. But neither here nor there. I get where he was coming from. He sounded like a whole loser. I really get tired of dudes like this.
I think I started with the one that makes the habit sitting. That's what you just do. Own it. Be offended. Yes, I should please. What the fuck? I'm sending pussy to strangers. Tons of it. It's tons of village.
Intentional order by God. He felt that most likely the path he was going on, he probably would have died. You know? I'm wondering if Thug like has those thoughts. Clearly, he's not gonna say it here, but I mean, if Thug was moving around like he was a fucking mob boss, getting people potentially knocked off this and third, no man's untouchable. Like you never know when somebody could have tried to do something to him. I wonder if he processes it like that, or he just looks at it on the surface to be like, "Yo, I'm bigger than jail," because that's like I don't know if that's rapper arrogance or 2020 hindsight that now you got out and you had a favorable judge who fucks with you. Maybe you really think you were really bigger than that whole process and you're pompous about it. I don't think that would be his demeanor. I don't think so. We'll find out.
For you to like show me something, why you just can't tell? I guess I was just hard-headed. And I think I love people so much to the point where the only thing that'll make me not love you anymore or just like dislike you is like betrayal. Like real life betrayal when life is dependent on it.
Is that something you felt like was happening?
Betrayal happening every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, you gotta ask. I feel betrayed. I feel fucking jaded. Like, it's crazy.
Does it feel good to be standing here right now then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To be out.
Like, you knew you were gonna see that again.
Absolutely. I would like talk on the phone with my lawyer and things, and he'll be like, he got like houses in the mountains and things. He'll show me all this, so I'll be still like kind of seeing the scenery. It was 2.5 years. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, going from this to like a jail cell is nuts.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And then back to this.
Made it out.
Yeah. You may be constrained in what you can say and not say, but you ultimately did decide to plead guilty to 6 counts. That a difficult decision?
Absolutely. Just pleading guilty to something you know that you didn't do or that's not yours is crazy. But you get a chance to keep fighting and then worry about the juror's fate or you just go ahead now. Go home. It's like, shit, go home.
Still feels like the right decision now?
Yeah.
Are you like domestic? Are you in the house?
Yeah, for the most part.
Really?
My girl, she be...
Your girl's Mariah the Scientist, right?
Yeah.
Are y'all like on the couch watching shows?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Just like total domestic
Sometimes
bliss.
you gotta come get me from where I'm at though. Sometimes I don't want to go home. She's just like,
oh, she gotta come grab you.
Right.
She was in court supporting you, right?
Yeah.
That must have meant something to you.
Absolutely.
There's this song on the record that is like so
I think they're talking about the album.
raw. where you guys are basically just singing to each other.
Yeah.
So confessional that I was like, I wonder if they.
I'm gonna skip past a little bit of this.
Feel forever, like, come see, you know?
Yeah, although there's a great tradition of songs about clothes and shoes too.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Sometimes you gotta do that too. I do that to like keep people up to par with the wear.
Yeah.
So the young guys that's looking up to me that want to know what coat this is and what thermals these are, those guys could be like, oh, this what it is.
I do need to know what thermals are. We're gonna need to know.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay, all right. I accept. You mentioned your own new record earlier, UY Scooty. Did it feel the same as it felt before? Like when you came back and started doing it again, did it come easy? Did it come hard?
It came easy. I never lost it. Nothing. I never lost it. I wrote music in jail and like I just listened to music sometimes in court and like things like that. So I never like lost it. I was still up to par on like what was going on, you know.
Did it feel like making other records?
No, it's a whole different feeling for sure.
How so?
Cause you just in court fighting for your life. Now you like in the studio at home, surrounded by love and beats.
One thing I noticed about the record is you can really hear like every word. You hear your voice. It's like high in the mix. There's not a lot of effects. It's just like the voice is right there. Was that deliberate? Was that something you thought about? Yeah.
I've told like my manager, I told G off like things like I just want to make music where you can actually hear me. Cause I always talk shit. I always talk that shit, but like sometimes you can't like hear it. Sometimes you're like, what are you saying? You know? Yeah. So it's like now like I feel like I'm new. I feel like I'm a new artist. I feel like I just came in the rap game again.
Another thing I noticed about the record is, and I mentioned the song of Rye the Scientist earlier, but it's a very confessional record. It's like you talk about your mom. You talk about your feelings about being in the news. You talk about crying on like more than one song. It's like very raw. Did you set out to do that? Or is that just what happened when you kind of...
It's always natural. When I record, it's always just like natural. Like however you feeling. Some days I might just feel happy and I just make like lit songs. Some days I just be like, not so happy.
It's funny that you say that because there was like a part of me that walked away and I was like, this is kind of a record about being rich and sad. But maybe that's just my takeaway and I'm not right.
Yeah. I don't think I speak about like being rich, like enrichment in the song.
Yeah.
I think you just think that I'm rich. And then I'm making a sad song.
It's not like he's sad.
You're like, damn, he's rich and sad.
A big family, I know you guys are close.
Yeah.
Are you still around them?
Absolutely.
Well, I say, because if I understand correctly, tell me if I'm wrong, that like part of your probation is you can't go home, right? You can't go back to Atlanta?
Yeah. Only for like certain things.
Only for certain things?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's home.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I was already out of Atlanta before this case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I lived in LA.
Like fully in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since like 2017.
So you don't really feel like you're in exile or anything?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely.
Well, if you can't go back, then I guess by definition, right?
Can't go home. It's crazy.
What does that feel like?
It just feels like abuse.
Before all this happened, I think Atlanta was like the center of rap culture. Do you think it still is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We create the wave. You got other places that's popping for sure. Like everybody's popping now.
Yeah.
But like everybody still like sound like Atlanta or like move to Atlanta or rap about Atlanta. It's like you got artists from a whole other place rapping about Atlanta.
Even if you're not there, I assume you still feel like one of the kind of leaders of that scene, that city. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys that plowed Atlanta into the rap industry.
You would put yourself in that category?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who else would you put in that category?
Future, Savage, Lil Baby, Migos, Tip, Andre 3000, Gucci.
That's the Mount Rushmore.
I was trying to think about who he doesn't like in Atlanta, and I guess it's only like Lucci and them. Thug has kind of become like other than obviously his feud with Wife and Lucci, he's become like, it's pretty much like an Atlanta ambassador damn near.
Rushmore right there.
Absolutely. We got a lot of kings in Atlanta.
Have you kept up with like rap in general? What do you think of the current like state of the art?
I'm a musician, so I don't think no music is bad or nothing is like wrong. Everything is just fire.
Well, it feels like when you were away, it was sort of dominated by this like Drake Kendrick thing, you know?
Yeah, for most of it.
Which I don't know if you have like a side in that. Atlanta kind of even got dragged in by Kendrick, which was interesting.
Yeah. He just like spoke on people's name in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. But I'm like a Drake fan.
Do you feel like it's like?
By the way, that was
He
like
said
a
Drake fan. Okay, we in there.
You know one thing I like about Thug, and maybe this is why he has this demeanor towards Gunna, and maybe that's why he probably is, moving the way he is and expects people around him to move like that, is that he don't like fencing. He doesn't like fencing, and I like that about him. We could have played it political there, right? There's two great artists. I don't really get into rap beefs and stuff. Yeah, I'm a Drake fan. I don't know why that nigga spoke on shit. Like, he doesn't have to go hard on Kendrick. But the reality is, Young Thug clearly is letting the message be known. Whatever Kendrick said about he ran to Atlanta to get a check balance and all that type of shit, shut your pussy ass up. That's basically what he's trying to say. And I like the fact that he's not fence-sitting because, I ain't gonna cap with you. Yachty, my mans. Yachty was fence-sitting a little bit early on when he was asked. When he was asked about the whole thing at first.
So many people kept like.
And by the way, this is the same question asked to Thug. You know what Thug says? Yo, I'm a Drake fan. I don't know why that guy spoke on people's names in Atlanta. Okay? He's clearly making it known, yo, we fuck with Drake. Okay? You don't got to get into the battle, don't got to get into the beef, but that's my guy. Drake's my guy. Yachty played it real political. And I love Yachty, but he did.
Calling me and texting me and like with excitement of like my name being used. And for me, it kind of just felt like, fuck. I really didn't want anything to do with it. I don't know. Again, I got a ton of respect for both of these guys. To be honest, I knew that my name was mentioned before it came out. I didn't hear the record, but I had got word that I was mentioned. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. It wasn't a surprise that I knew. So. So many people kept like calling me.
Okay,
How hard was that?
It's a Thug thing.
Yes.
I guess all
think
I'm
the
saying
numbers
is that
could be better, but
I
yeah.
respect Thug
Yeah.
for like actually having a POV and a side and be like, yo. And by the way, he should. What he's saying about Drake, he should say about Drake. Why? You were incarcerated. Drake gave you 2 features. He shot the video by himself. He was rocking with you. Again, you don't got to say fuck Kendrick, but like, I ain't gonna lie to you. One of the things that, won't say it determined the battle, but it was an indictment on all the friendships I think Drake has, is that the people who he so-called helped, none of them stood up to say, yo, whatever that battle is whatever the battle is, but that's my guy. He ain't no weirdo. He ain't no PDF. And to be honest with you, he's only helped us. A lot of people just kept quiet. So I kind of fuck with Thug for saying this.
For most of it.
Which I don't know if you have like a side in that. Atlanta kind of even got dragged in by Kendrick, which was interesting.
Yeah. He just like spoke on people's name in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. But I'm like a Drake fan.
Do you feel like it's like rap music in general is in a good place?
Yes. I think the numbers could be better, but yeah.
Oh, you mean like people could be selling more?
Yeah. I seen something about like the percentage in hip hop has like went down.
Oh, really?
I seen something like that when I was locked up. So.
Do you have a theory about why?
I think a lot of people like rapping about the same thing. And nobody's bringing like something that you can actually watch. You can enjoy the music and like enjoy the things that they do, but like we used to like make movies, I think now it's just like quick. You got to get back to like movies. Like got to get back to like to where like people respect it.
Why do you think they went away from that in the first place?
Because like it was just a big wave of like nothingness running the game. Like super simple videos, not really high price videos. Like that wave like came in really strong. So even the people that was doing high price videos, they started doing like regular videos because that's what was popping.
Yeah.
But I think now we did it so long to the point where we like comfortable with that, and we don't want to do stuff like this no more that take time. Now we just like, man, let's just go ahead and shoot the video. Let's you know, instead of like a fucking day set, 2-day set, you know, shit like that.
Yeah. What do you remember about like your early days as an artist when you think about those days now?
He's gonna touch on the Gunna thing. I gave you the spoiler already. He's gonna kind of dismiss it, but I'm trying to see if he says anything else. We have about like 5 or 6 more minutes of real shit.
Just like being happy and like free.
I've heard interviews where you talked about kind of bruising early encounters with the industry. Like your deal with Gucci was like kind of weird, right? Or like even Lior, I've heard you say like that started out kind of weird, right?
Yeah, because we just didn't know each other.
Yeah.
We ended up being like good friends, mentors.
Did you like hold those dealings against them, you know, later on?
When I was younger, yeah. Because I just didn't realize and recognize like people's point of view or way of hustling. Now I have some of those similar ways of hustling and points of view. So now it's just like, oh, okay. Even when we got cool, like me and Leo got super cool, like he my mentor. Like even when we got like super cool, like I still didn't understand some of the things he did that I felt like he did back then. But now just like growing older and like owning a record label and doing things like that, it's like, okay, cool.
It does seem like you made a point though with your label of maybe doing differently with artists than the way that people dealt with you.
Yeah, I don't be really like taking money from my artists and stuff like that. I just like to help people, you know.
One of those artists was Gunna. You guys did a ton of songs together.
Yeah.
Very successful on your label.
Yeah.
He was arrested about the same time as you. I think a lot of people wonder what that relationship is like now.
Yeah. I know everybody wondering that.
What's it like?
I don't know.
I guess that's his own form of answer, huh?
You like to like plow?
I do, absolutely.
Deep into things.
Yeah. I'm a pro.
That whole speech you gave me earlier, like, yeah, I'm new to this shit. All this shit was just cap.
Oh, no, I'm new to the cameras.
Yeah, I thought that was... I'm going to give Thug credit for this. I'm going to give Thug credit for how he answered this question about Gunna. I think someone had to tap Thug on the shoulder recently to say, hey, bro, you street dudes who used to use the audience to shame artists, that shit's not effective. You need to get over it. And I do think Young Thug, with what we care about him with, he will be way more successful if he's not fixated on trying to get people to hate Gunna. They're not going to hate Gunna. The people who weren't involved in your case, the fans, they kind of look at Gunna as a cool dude. They look at him like he didn't do nothing wrong. He's not arrogant. He seems like a good guy. And what the internet has shown is that they value people who seem to have good character, comes off not necessarily wholesome, but comes off genuine, more than people who are these like street element guys who don't do shit. And this is why I think the internet won't turn on Gunna. And this is why I think Thug should not try to give fans reason to turn on him. It's okay to not like him, but the fans have clearly made up their mind. They like him for what they like him with. And you as an artist have to realize, yo, they like him for what they like him. They like you for what they like you for. Get over it. I think that answer is kind of him understanding that.
Yeah, I'm new to this shit. All this shit was just cap.
Oh, no, I'm new to the cameras. The interviewing.
Okay.
I'm not remotely new to.
Yeah. I thought you was going to lie because I saw you a few times interviewing.
Those are the only ones I've done on camera. Do you have bigger ambitions for the label or just in general kind of going forward?
Yeah, we just pushing positivity, I mean, and we just going for the gusto. We trying to like kill the whole rap game and just like do it big and just help people in general, help society, help the communities we from, and just like be just so great, you know?
We've been walking through this insane house and we have not commented on one single thing, but I feel like we have to at least note that there's a giant bear behind you.
Like, what is this about?
Are you a taxidermy man? Do you remember how you first started rapping?
Maybe like 9 years old.
Really? It's a long time though before you started making records, right?
What you mean? Like making songs?
Like putting out albums.
Oh.
Mixtapes.
Why do some people call albums records?
Which one is confusing? Album is record or a record is album?
A record is a song.
Okay.
Okay, record is a song.
An album is an album.
That's pretty much, I believe, the majority of the good things that's out of this interview. I'm glad that Thug's kind of moving around. I'm trying to watch this rollout. This rollout is going to be really interesting because we clearly want to hear. I'll tell you what I think we want to hear from Thug. We still want Thug to be popping and shit. We still want that, him talking a little greasy, talking like he's in the field doing shit, which who knows, he might be, whatever. But we also want to hear about this experience of him getting incarcerated, and we want to see some growth and learning, right? And if he could bundle that into the right way into a project, I think that fans will be really into it. Now, if he comes off as like he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, and he's like, yo, no, I just want to use this to be like the streets is back, fuck all rats, I don't think that's the angle people want to hear, honestly. Obviously, if the music is hot enough, we want to hear anything. But I do think people don't want certain type of, they don't want certain type of rollout. If the rollout's about fuck these rats, I don't think that'll work. I think we want to hear a story, see a little growth. That'll, if you ask me, do it for him. Okay? All right. Okay. We'll leave that there for now. So essentially, hold on, I'm sending it to myself. There we go. Good. So essentially, what's happened is that Dirk is trying to get bail, and his argument is this: yo, we not only want bail, we want to try to dismiss the case. The reason we feel we have an argument for the case to be dismissed is that the prosecutors, which is the federal government, they admitted that how they got the indictment was essentially presenting a certain amount of evidence. Now, one of the evidence they allegedly presented to a grand jury, they're claiming is entirely false. And this is it right here, okay? So what this is that Dirk is trying to have a motion to dismiss, which means it would be dismissing the entire indictment. And he's saying it's based on a false or misleading grand jury evidence. Now, what is that? So the government basically said some of the things that supported their theory that Dirk orchestrated or was paying for this murder of Lil Pab, which really was, they were trying to get Quando Rondo. Their evidence is that Dirk was self-snitching, and he was talking about doing this in songs. So they brought up a song where he was rapping and seemingly about Lil Pab and basically bragging like, yeah, I got that done. And they used that in grand jury to get the indictment, right? What Dirk's lawyers are saying, whoa, so y'all gotta, so if you don't know how a grand jury works, I've said this a bunch of times, but you might have new people. This is the expectation, this is the expectation. So there's like levels to when police are investigating crimes. In most places, like, obviously stop and frisk isn't really anywhere, but sometimes stop and identify, or sometimes, you know, if the police be like, hey, what's your name? You have to give them a name or they could arrest you. And that's the lowest level of, you know, what the cops need. So there's something called reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion means it's the lowest level. It means if the cop is walking around, say you got a shiesty on and you're like sneaking up behind cars, and say they got a call in saying, yo, I think somebody's trying to break into a car. If they stop you, if they pull up to the area, they see you and they ask you, hey, what's your name? You can't be like, whoa, what the fuck? They have reasonable suspicion that at the very minimum, in most places, you got to identify yourself, okay? In some places, you don't got to give ID, but you got to at least tell them your name, okay? So reasonable suspicion is the lowest level. It means a law enforcement officer believes that a crime is about to happen, is in the process of happen, or could happen. Okay? All right. So that's reasonable suspicion. Above that, and this is where a cop could search your car, is what's called probable cause. Now, probable cause, there's a really wide range of it, because if a cop pulls you over and he eventually searches your car, whether it's a dog that sniffs marijuana and you're in a place where marijuana is not supposed to be at, right? Because it's illegal, even though it's legal most places now. That would be probable cause, right? Probable cause means that there's a probability that there is evidence that a crime has been committed. So reasonable suspicion, you could actually pull somebody over before they do the crime. But you can't really search them or nothing. You could just ask them their name. Probable cause is that there's a probability that there is there's evidence, whether it's in the car, whether it's whatever, but the cop has to have the mindset that he believes that a crime has been committed, and he believes that because the crime has been committed, there's probable cause to try to get evidence. You get what I'm saying? So that might mean, hey, I smell weed, so I want to search the car to see if weed is there. That's probable cause. Now, that's really tricky, because that's the same thing you could get indicted on, right? So probable cause literally means that, you know, there's a high likelihood that they believe there is evidence of a crime, or there is enough evidence that suggests you may have did a crime, and that's enough to indict someone. Okay? So when you hear about a grand jury only cares, and they're going to vote at the end, and this is why it doesn't have to be unanimous, it's like majority. In Jersey, it's 23 people. You got to have at least 12. Some other places it's lesser, or some other places, sometimes they'll change the amount you need. But in any place you need a grand jury, they're going off probable cause. I'll give you more examples. There's probable cause to charge you with murder if the place that you rent, that you're the only one that has access to, that you invited someone over, and later, for whatever reason, your neighbor called in saying, yo, we smell like a rotten smell. They pull up, they find out there's a dead body in your apartment. They don't know if you killed the person. They don't know. But there's probable cause to think you may have had something to do with the murder. Now, obviously, they probably need a little bit more, but still, that's what probable cause is. So once there's probable cause, now they'll charge you, and you're going to go to a trial, right? So probable cause is a really low standard. And by the way, this is what they say about grand jury. They say, a good prosecutor could get the jury to indict a ham sandwich, because probable cause is not a real standard that it's like, oh, you got to know this person did it. It just has to have enough inference that this person could have done it. You get what I'm saying? So, when you get to a court setting, for someone to be found guilty of any crime, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, that's the highest level in the land. Beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the reason why in grand juries, it's majority in terms of the people who are voting. So if it's 23, you only need 12. In a trial, The jury that sits there, because they're going off beyond a reasonable doubt, everybody has to agree. It has to be unanimous. And that's what they consider the high standard in the land, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay? So I only explained that to you to explain how things happen or cases get done. So Dirk got charged on a complaint because they knew he was going to flee. And then, because what happens, if you don't go through the grand jury, you got to do what's called a preliminary hearing and present your evidence to a judge, and the judge acts as a grand jury, okay? I'm giving y'all like a law course. It's like an overall law course because it does differ state by state, also differs federal and local, whatever. Usually, for felonies, they want, or serious felonies, rape, murder, RICO, kidnapping, sex trafficking, they want a grand jury to indict, okay? Which means your peers have either elected that you need to go to trial and be found guilty or not guilty, or they're going to say or it's called, so that would be called a true bill. And then the other side, so a grand jury, they give two options. It's a true bill, which means there is evidence of a crime. Okay? They're not saying you did it. There's evidence of a crime. Or there's a no bill, which means they don't believe that the police gathered enough probable cause to suggest you did that crime that you could be standing trial for it. Okay? Now, usually if it's a no bill, it's pretty much dead in the water because the cops really ain't going to get no more evidence, right? And usually grand juries don't consider the same thing twice after a no bill. But if it's a true bill, it goes to court. Anyway, I know. I'm giving you a lot, and I know I'm like kind of scatterbrained because I am off the liquor at 2 o'clock. But what ends up happening if you get indicted is that it's going to go to trial. Now, that process is usually really secretive, right? In a preliminary hearing, we saw with the ASAP Rocky thing, Rocky sat there while they were arguing it out. That didn't go to grand jury. That's called a preliminary hearing. So the judge made the determination to say, we're going to trial. That's not normal for really serious cases. Again, no one wants to be blamed as a judge or whoever to say, oh, I agree that this should go to a trial, or I don't think it should. So that's why they convene these grand juries. So a grand jury convened, and they later, after the complaint, because the complaint was just to lock Dirk up before he went to Switzerland, the grand jury came back and said Dirk Banks is and will stand and face charges for murder for hire. Now, through the detention hearings and paperwork put in by the government, they have realized, and this is Dirk's lawyers, they have realized that they may have swayed the jury, because remember, this is secretive. Dirk wasn't there. So at this grand jury shit, they usually don't invite the suspect. The suspect's lawyer doesn't get invited too. It's only the prosecutor and the grand jury. So they basically, that's why they said they could indict a ham sandwich. Because you're presenting a case and you have no argue back. Nobody's to argue back. You're just saying whatever. And actually, sometimes they'll bring up a witness. They'll even let the jury people question the witness. So it's like, if they really want an indictment, they could just make it look any type of way. You get what I'm saying? So, Dirk and his lawyers find out, and it's kind of like very obvious, because when they're trying to make sure Dirk doesn't get bail, they keep saying, yo, you can't give him bail because as established in our original indictment that the grand jury signed off on, Dirk, and this is supposedly the error, Dirk is a threat to the community. Not only is he a guy that operates in the shadows, like King Slime, he pays for the murders. You know what he did? He rapped about someone being murdered after he paid for the murder. Now, Dirk's team, they are very confident to say, That's false. So if you got my client indicted using false evidence, this indictment should be thrown out. You guys should have to convene a new grand jury and go with factual shit. Okay? So his whole motion to dismiss and hopefully either dismiss the whole thing, period, which I think that's highly unlikely, but if not, get out on bail, is to say the prosecutors are making up a lie against Dirk. What's the lie? There's a song that Dirk dropped that they claim Dirk was rapping about Lil Pop's death, and Dirk claims, and his lawyer claims, that couldn't have been about Lil Pop's death because we 100,000,000,000% recorded it before he died. So if you're using that song to help indict me, you use false evidence. And if it's false evidence, throw out the indictment. So let's kind of read through it a little bit. It says, defendant Dirk Bankson, through his counsel of record, moves the court to dismiss the superseding indictment against him in this matter. In the alternative, he moves to compel disclosure of the grand jury minutes. So here's the thing. He doesn't know what's in the grand jury, but through reading through the detention memorandums, he could realize what they use, and he's saying, oh, yeah, I use fake shit against me. The motion is based on the memorandum, the memorandum of points and authorities and all files and records in this case, such as evidence and arguments, as may be presented at the hearing. The undersigned, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So let me just kind of get through this quickly for y'all. So it says, the government presented false evidence to the grand jury that indicted Mr. Banks on November 7th. The plain language of the superseding indictment makes it apparent that the government told the grand jury Mr. Banks, through specific lyrics in his music, celebrated and profited from a revenge murder that he had ordered, namely of ASR in August 2022. The claim is demonstrably false. The song the government relied on upon as evidence against Mr. Banks, Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, was actually recorded by another artist, Babyface Ray, and which Mr. Banks recorded a feature, and could have not commercialized, and could have not been a commercialization of Mr. Banks' alleged murder for hire as the government presented or represented to the grand jury. That's because Banks recorded, so Dirk recorded the lyrics before, 7 months before the incident even happened. The government's misrepresentation of superseding indictment, whether knowingly or recklessly, undermines the integrity of the grand jury true bill. The court, remember I told you, true bill means you're going forward, no bill, you don't have probable cause. So they're saying we should dismiss the superseding indictment completely, which would then go back to the level of where it was a complaint. And when it's a complaint, now they have to go through a preliminary hearing, and that's more favorable because Dirk and his lawyer gets to go back and forth with the judge. But in federal court, a judge sometimes don't want to do no federal hearing, a preliminary hearing, because for cases like this, murder, they want a grand jury indictment. You get what I'm saying? Mr. Banks is a highly... Okay, we don't got to read through this. They're just kind of gassing him up. So they talk about the feature, and they're claiming that he recorded his portion in January 22, and that being his last involvement with the song. A further production was done by the producers and other industry professionals, but no changes to the content and lyrics were ever made by him afterwards. And it says, outside the four corners of the superseding indictment, but more important to the court consideration, the issue of the timing and the lyrics was addressed by, so they're saying there was a detention hearing, they tried to address it. To counter this argument, the counsel for the government posited to the court that even if the lyrics themselves was written 7 months prior, a version of the song was modified that added audio from a news clip. Hold on. So they had brought up in court to say, yo, this shit's old. Like, how could you use old lyrics that was recorded before the murder to say it's evidence of Dirk bragging about the murder? Back then in the detention hearing, the government said even if it was recorded and it was old, their whole thing was that you guys added a news clip. So in the song, there's a news clip, and I think we could play a little bit of it. Let's see if we can find it. Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, right? Let's go to that song. This is it.
Drink, baby, pop.
Here we go.
Just got on rap. I don't beef with niggas on the net. That shit hair skills.
I don't know, chat, which part of the song has the news clip in it?
You don't tax. Fact, I'm feeling it's fucked up. Man, fuck the state. Tell them.
Hold on. Wonderful Wayne, Jackie Boy lyrics. I'm pretty sure they did use that sample. I'm trying to figure out. I can't play the whole song just all through and through. Where is the sample? The sample is fuck the state, tell him suck my dick. Oh my God. Fuck the state, tell him suck my dick. Well, he ain't gonna tell that to the feds. With your little telling ass trendsetter. It feel like I'm the one who could bring Pelly back. Bro and them steal from me or snake me out. I'm bringing Melly back. Petty ass. Oh damn, he rapping. Petty ass ain't fuck with me like she said. Ain't get her belly wrap. I don't beef with niggas on the net. That shit fed years. One op that I hate from over there just got his head pierced. Little bitch seen them drum hanging out my pants. She said it's a Ferris wheel. I can't cap. I got a what? Just off her head skill. I had paid the half for all that drink I was sipping. $5K for a pint. I robbed him back, so I ain't tripping. I'm thinking about my brothers I lost. I'm in my feelings. It's fucked up that I'd rather get revenge instead of millions. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is pretty much why he's in jail, right? Like, the one thing about Dirk raps, that nigga was spitting. He says, it's fucked up. I'd rather get revenge instead of millions. He pretty much did that. Yeah. He got revenge instead of probably getting more millions of dollars right now. Dirkio, call me Smirkio, then it's personal. She twerked for show, told me don't come fast, took a perky though. A nigga asked me who I killed before. I like, who you working for? Say my name for clout, but in the streets, they ask gonna hurt. They ask gonna hurt you though. They told me got an addy, go. Got location, go. Green light, go. Look on the news, see your son, you screaming, no. Pussy. And all them niggas hanging with them, you, if you know, you know. Where's the news clip then? Chat, where's the news clip? I mean, he's kind of... I can't play the whole thing. Hold on, chat. Somebody said there's no news. Oh, there's a fan-made video that's 125. Oh, really? Oh. So there's a fan-made video. This? Oh, with Dirk? But did Dirk ever use this?
Steal from me and snake me out, I'm bringing them back so I ain't tripping. Gonna hurt you though. Tell me that no gang shit. Hey, Babyface, this shit crazy right here. Ain't gonna lie.
Wait, where's the news clip? It's about to come right here? No, he's not there. Wait, what am I missing?
You in the middle of the crowd almost, just right above them. You know what I'm saying? Tell us what this is gonna be like. It's gonna be out of body experience.
Man, what
Is it that?
Tell him suck my dick with your little telling.
It was a YouTube short? Where's the video in question? Let me go back to the... They don't have a link to it here? Usually they would have a link to it. So y'all trying to tell me that the feds use a fan-made video? No way. What video is it? No way. But that's a fan edit. That's not in the real song.
Look on the news and see your son, you screaming no. And all them niggas hanging with him. If you know, you know. Gang.
Oh, the link is in the paperwork? Oh, shit. Look at y'all. The niggas is like, yo, it's in the paperwork, gang. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the link on YouTube. Oh, right here. Oh, okay. Oh, where's the link? Quoting Okay. The superseding indictment does charge Banks in the alleged murder, blah, blah. In addition to naming him, the superseding indictment contains one new material alleged fact that the original indictment does not. It says, after the shooting, Mr. Banks celebrated the revenge through his music. Following and the murder sought to commercialize by rapping this with explicit references, audio taken from a news clip shortly after where he screamed, no. It said the underlying falsehood. For the superseding indictment allegations about the meaning of Banks' lyrics, they describe SR's killing and the reference media about it. Mr. Banks would have needed to pen them after that date, which they're saying he didn't, He wrote them 7 months beforehand. Then they're saying, attached is Exhibit 1 to this motion, which is the declaration of Justin Gibson, that's a producer and engineer, who recorded it. And they basically said that it was recorded then. And then Exhibit 2 is whatever, who's a producer and audio engineer, who said they received the lyrics and they didn't receive any modifications. Okay. And additionally, review the open source YouTube links that were provided through email correspondence with the governments and can confirm that the audio and video, right? The audio, just follow my mouse. Audio and video clip featured an individual yelling no, reportedly from a news clips, are not from the original recording. He identifies those clips as fan edits for social media platforms that are altered, fabricated, and inauthentic versions of the original songs. Ooh, okay, Dirk. Dirk's lawyer's working. I wonder if that's Finland. Mr. Sheriff confirms that it does not contain these manipulated elements. He attests that creating altered audio edits are easy to do through social media platforms, and such practices often result in misinformation and misrepresentation of the original pieces of music and art. Ooh, okay. So actually, let me go to the superseding indictment against Dirk. If you guys haven't been to the academy.blog, please go there if you want to see it. Let's find the superseding indictment. Criminal complaint. Where's the superseding? It's one of these. Okay. Here we go. This was a superseding indictment. So we just got to find where this whole no shit is. And they're probably going to give a link. And yet, this is a RICO, is it? Because I see overt act. RICO usually has conspiracy with it. Oh, right here. Following the attempt. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. We got to find that again because they're going to probably link it somewhere. Here we go. We're going to find it in a second, chat. Oh, they probably don't put a link to it, but they should mention following Oh, that explicitly references audio from a news clip. Oh, so the feds got this wrong. Ooh. By the way, chat, this is why feds go to somebody like Adam22 to get the original version. Because once something is out, people remix, do all type of stuff, and they never know if they're getting the original version. This is why they would show up. It's not Adam's in trouble. They're just like, yo, we need the original OG version. Because now the feds, while presenting, and they probably pass it along in the AUSAs who are trying to get an indictment through the grand jury, they presented, or they, in their case, they said, oh, you know, Dirk used a news clip? And the grand jury's sitting there like, what? Oh, this guy's an idiot. Of course he's got something to do with it, right? Like, if you're telling me all these other facts and he used this clip, okay, good, we're going to vote to indict him. And here's the thing. They're saying, y'all got a faulty indictment because y'all presented false information, right? They might have a point here. They might actually have a point. All right? Now, we don't know if, it's a safe assumption to say this was involved in the grand jury presentation because it's mentioned here. But if on the offhand it wasn't mentioned, that's the only way Dirk's thing won't be considered. Anyway, give me a second. So that is in Dirk's new order, or not order, his attempted motion to dismiss this. And it says the court has the power to dismiss an indictment that the grand jury has returned based on information that the government knew at the time to be or later learned to be false. Okay? So they're saying dismiss it because this was a false indictment. The false information presented to the grand jury here compels the superseding indictment's dismissal. The false information prejudiced Mr. Banks in the grand jury proceeding. The court should dismiss the indictment because the government presented false evidence. Okay, that's their whole point. If the court is uncertain whether false information was presented to the grand jury requires dismissal, the court should order the government to produce the transcripts of the evidence from the grand jury. So he's trying to hold them to the fire. A prosecutor who knowingly secures an indictment based on false information or who allows false obtained indictment to persist routes the grand jury from its central protective function. That is clearly what's happened here. For the foregoing reasons, the court should dismiss the superseding indictment against Mr. Banks. In the alternative, the court should compel the disclosure of relevant underlying grand jury proceedings. So they're saying do one of two things. Dismiss the superseding indictment or force them to show, remember, grand jury is supposed to be secret. Force them to show the minutes or the transcripts from this proceeding that we could know if they did present this false evidence, right? Okay. Now, here we go. The judge actually seems like, they're considering this, to be honest. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Fuck. Okay. Right here. So, give me 1 second. So, what is this? This is a no. So, this is an application for bail. Pretty much the judge is going to consider it. Like, I'm trying to give y'all, or not be too long-winded here, even though I'm always am. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, and here's the exhibit for the motion to dismiss. Hold on, I'll put it on screen in a second. This is just from the producer saying, this is from both engineers, the engineer for Babyface Ray and also Dirk, saying, yo, that shit was not in there. Like, we put no news clip in there. He didn't change lyrics, and he recorded that shit before the murder. So Dirk couldn't have been rapping about the murder that never happened yet, right? Now, granted, I do think the government would have gotten an indictment without this. I'm wondering how they're going to treat this, because they're not going to just let you off if they really think you did murder someone, because this is a technicality that Dirk has in his favor. Here we go. Hold on. I'm trying to find you the last relevant page, and then we're off of this. Is it this? Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to show. Okay, so here's the memorandum. It says, Mr. Dirk, and now he's trying to get out. He says, if you're not going to dismiss it, at least give him bond, because this is bullshit. Mr. Dirk, or Mr. Banks, requests reconsideration of the order of detention for him pre-trial since December 12th. New information has come to light that impacts not only the veracity of the evidence presented to the grand jury, but of course the government's counsel's representation to the court at the first detention hearing. In light of these developments, Mr. Banks presents the court with a substantial bond package that mitigates any risk posed by his release on this condition. Number one, fan edits with the song. It says, in arguing for his detention, the government attempted to hold Banks responsible for video clips of YouTubers and Instagram users have edited, produced, and posted social media, but with whom Mr. Banks has no affiliation. At an initial detention hearing, the defense called into question the accuracy of the paragraph of the superseding indictment, which references lyrics from a song by the recording artist named Babyface Ray that features Dirk. They mentioned this whole got the Addy, go, go. It said the defense counsel produced an affidavit from a sound engineer, music producer, which says that approximately 7 months before this date is when they did the song. Thus, the song could have not been commercialized, a commercialization by Banks' participation in the murder, okay? And could have not referenced an audio news clip that was taken shortly after, like the government led the grand jury to believe. They basically then just say, this shit was cap, okay? Following the hearing, the defense sought clarification by email about what the blah, 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 that featured both the TMZ news footage and blah, 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 and yeah. The first post was by a user with the handle OTF Edit, right? So this person posted it first. OTF Edit. Oh, the page down. Or maybe there's a period afterwards. Yeah, it's down. Second was posted by My Mixtapes. And the videos do, in fact, contain audio and video of the news coverage, which Taekwon Bowman, which is Quando Rondo, could be here screaming. But it's superimposed over the song, which means it's cap. And they're saying the critical flaw for the government is that Mr. Banks did not create these videos, and the government has failed to show any nexus between these manufactured clips and Mr. Banks. These videos are not created, posted by Mr. Banks or his discretion or direction. The internet users who posted a video or OTF edit at my mixtapes and their apparent fan pages, maintained by people that have no affiliation with OTF or Mr. Banks. And I think here's the link to it. So they're right. And here's the OTF edit thing. And they said, oh, they were talking about a YouTube channel. Okay. And then my mixtapes posted.
He's pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
Oh, so this is another song they're saying it got superimposed in. Okay. By the way, his new proposed bond package, $900,000. Okay, so a bond secured partially in full by approximately $900,000 equity in real properties, $1 million tendered in cash by Alamo, $150,000 tendered by Nizar Alibabi or Ali Bahia, which is an associate, home detention with electronic monitor, around-the-clock security, ensuring compliance with all conditions, reporting to pretrial, and additional third-party sureties. Okay. Now the government is going to think, the judge is going to think about this, okay? They're going to actually consider this, and we will see where it goes. Okay. Chat, before we get to Shannon Sharpe, we actually do have some stuff. Let me see if I could find this to play.
Realize what you were saying.
Did I just get noob tubed?
That's fucking great work if he did.
What a play.
Nah. Should have repeat that. Nah, that would be on far right hanger. Oh yeah, LaRue, put it right there. Put it right there, buddy. Play on 120 FOV? I mean, fuck it. Oh my god. It's the same guys.
And here they come. Come get me, boys.
I don't have an opportunity, bro. I'm getting slammed by hackers. I mean, the guys that killed me weren't hacking, but the guys that just finished me were hacking.
At him.
Wait. You can res if you get out of there.
If you get out of there.
You got money. No, they're not hitting that.
I'll fly.
Yeah.
Got money. You know it. Take a meat out and show it. That's the way.
That's too far. Oh, shit. All right.
It's a pleasure, gentlemen.
No car here. You're fucked.
It's nice knowing you guys.
Yo, Recoil, let us res, bro. Come on.
Yeah, Recoil, let us res. You can grief us again. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, you'll be able to kill us again, bro. Come on.
Run. Shit's in here.
Skippity doo da day.
You stupid virgin. Let me fucking res.
I wish I was a virgin.
With my friends. I'm gonna get you.
Yo, J-Card, thanks for the sub, bro. How does it feel to be Major 3 champions? That right there is a technical foul, brother. You can't be saying that shit. You cannot, bro. You cannot say that type of stuff. That's bad vibes.
We lost the objective.
That's got to be a jinx somehow, some way, brother. You need to be careful with that type of talk.
I'm gonna save us.
What's your CPU and graphics card? I got a 50 or...
I'm gonna res everybody.
I got a 5090 and then a 9800 X3D. Surge is a good team. Yeah, Surge and Ultra both look really good, bro. Listen, nothing's a given, dude. Everything needs to be earned. We gotta take it. Take that man's meat.
Money on buying it, shop.
Money on the buy. Wait, don't you get a free... I thought you had $4 grand. And then the supply run a free res?
No, I didn't get the supply run. For some reason it didn't count. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
How does it work?
Let me grab this other one, man.
Well, I'm on 120 FOV now, ready to get active. This is certainly a terrible idea. I'm not going to be able to see shit.
We are going to be falling via hacker very shortly.
Fall to your knees and bequeath me, sire.
Let us reset it now. They will roll upon and murder us in cold blood.
Murder is on my mind. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life.
Oh man, Warzone has me fucking turned.
You can't tweak, bro.
People
That's
fighting up
I
here.
mean, you've been dealing with hackers much longer than us, but
People fighting up here. I will pull up to the function in third party and ruin all of your fun.
Baby girl,
Come now.
bequeath me.
Give me dope or give me death. Oh, death it is. You're not chilling that bitch. Shot him. Just walk away.
I hear stuff,
They
but
just
I don't
completely-
see stuff. I'm
they
getting
just
shot in the
completely
back
stopped
now.
Fighting each other to kill me. How the fuck you guys? Oh, and I'm dead. They completely stopped killing each other. Ah, recoil wizard. Nice shot. They stopped fighting each other only to kill me. That's fucking rude. Plate's there for your shot.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hey, Reese, what's up? What's the word, my boy?
They were all on my body on the far side. Oh, recoil wizards in that car. Good luck shot.
Yeah, you fucked.
Bequeath
Kill
me,
these
sire.
hackers. Get him, headshot. Shoot him.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh.
Good luck, brother.
So I gotta try to get some good timing. I don't even know what to do. I'll just run it.
Big place. Oh. Yeah.
Thought it was a
Guys
play.
playing prop hunt mid Warzone match.
Prop hunt?
The guy's fucking hacking. What do you want me to do? I don't know. Maybe the box will throw him off.
You just bent over for him and let him into your fucking rear, brother.
My rear was open to him as soon as we entered the lobby. Get us out of here, bro.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Let me report this guy. Oh,
I
my
love
God.
that we're getting just alley-ooped by Spiro into the other 4 stack.
I mean, normally they get banned the same game that we spectate, so I don't know what's happening here, bro. There's something wrong.
Shout out to my boy Reese for tuning into the stream.
Put him in your...
We ain't trying to watch no name shot over here.
So essentially, hold on, I'm sending it to myself. There we go. Good. So essentially, what's
Text message.
Let me pause this. We'll get back to it. You know why I wanted to lead in? Like, there's 2 shows that's killing it right now when it comes to sports. I don't even really watch ESPN like that. Of course, shout out to Nightcap and everything Shannon Sharp got going on, and Stephen A. But it's Gilbert Arenas' show. And of course, for me personally, man, I love It Is What It Is. Because really, it is what it is. Now, shout out to my man Mace. Shout out to Killer Cam. They always give a real good perspective that's not really industry. It's not. They don't give an industry take. They still talk like niggas in the barbershop, and I like that type of conversation. They don't talk like HR is watching the clip, and I like that. Mace made some very interesting points, and I have something to add on to it. Let's play this.
For him to offer $10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no $10 million if I know I didn't do anything.
Let me stop you, Mace. I wish I was on the show with y'all. I got one better. This girl is selling her booty for $50K. Still a lot of money. but she ain't see $10 million in this lifetime or the next. If she turns down $10 million, what does that tell you? Fuck what he offered. Because I could come, I could say, yo, he only offered a 10 because he was about to get 100. If she turned down the 10, what does that tell you? Now, some might say, oh, no, she got much more. No. Because here's the thing, especially when you got money or whatever, when you deal with somebody that don't got money, you think she's going to turn down a guaranteed 10 to go gamble for 50? She's going to take the guaranteed 10. Come on now. Like, people, use your brain. First of all, she probably ain't going to get the 50. But let's say she gets 30. It's going to take several years, dragged out. You got to split it with your lawyers, public embarrassment. They're offering you 10 on the humble privately. Now, Mace is going to say something that's going to add on to my next point. Let's keep it going.
And I think the only reason that 10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the 10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just.
Thank you. Let me flush out that point because they get a little silly with it. When it says the 10 million didn't work because the pimp needs his cut. Maybe the 10 million didn't work because whoever may have put this woman up to it, not saying it ain't true, but the quote-unquote pimp is somebody who's backing her. They don't only want $10 million. They want blood. Now, we're going to get into who could have these incentives or these reasons. But all I'm saying, a chick who does OnlyFans, you offer her $10 million, even if she thought she could get 50. I think she might take that. The mere fact they played hardball till it got to the public and now she's gambling the dice because she may never get anything. Tells me whoever is in her corner is saying, 10 mil? Nah, we good. That doesn't seem like it's coming from her. She don't got a pot to piss in. Whoever is backing her is saying, nah, 10 ain't enough. That's not her saying that. It's whoever's backing her. Do you get what I'm saying, Chad? Whoever is backing her is saying, no, 10 no. Because she don't got a pot to piss in. $10 million is going to change her life. You think she's going to turn down a guaranteed 10 to gamble? Would y'all? If I give you 10 right now, if I give you $10 million right now, but you have a 40% chance of getting, say, $30 million, would you say, I'm going to risk the guaranteed 10 for the 40%, or let's say 50%. Yeah, it's a 50-50. Yep, for the 50% chance of winning 30, or are you going to say, nah, give me the 10, nigga. It's $10 million. You don't have nothing. You're going to take $10 million. Unless you got somebody who's backing you who to say, nah, trust me. No, we got this. Like, 10 million ain't nothing. 10 million is a lot to her. To whoever the pimp is, 10 million ain't nothing. Maybe.
Just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right? So if there's a pimp, right? Why y'all keep laughing? I know this is why they flew me back in. They wanted to know my take. But listen, all jokes aside, if the girl said I want 10, this may be the lawyer, right? Just hypothetically, all of these things, right? And the guy who put her on to Shannon was like, you didn't even know him. I put you on them. You didn't even know who that was. You was asking about college.
You was asking about college.
Yeah, this.
Now, he's taking his theory to say whoever lined this up, whoever lined it up, first put him on to Shannon. I don't think so. I think whoever, if there is this quote-unquote pimp, whoever lined it up just found out who Shannon was fucking with and waited until shit got a little bit rocky and came on and swooped in. Ain't nothing worse than a woman scorn. The reason why I don't think the pimp existed before, I think in this naivete mindset that she had, I think she would have had a child for him. I think if she was thinking about, oh, this is my lottery ticket, I think she wanted to cash in on the lottery ticket by having kids for him. I really think that. She was talking about kids all the time. I think she was down to have a child for him. If it was a real pimp that's doing this, they would have said to her, no, we're not doing that. She clearly wanted to try to anchor him down with a child. The pimp wouldn't tell you to go do that. I think the pimp or whoever is her backer swooped in, but probably became influential. Somehow found out about her, but became influential in her ear when they were going through it. That's the important thing. Okay?
This is your Thurgood Marshall right here. Him right there. For real? Yeah, that nigga worth a lot of money. You know how guys be, and they pushed her on her. And then she said 10. And he was like, 10 is my 10. You got to put in your number for yourself. That don't have nothing to do with mine. 10 is mine. That's what we discussed. I'm just telling you, I ain't been out the streets that long. I know this is how peace think. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's watching this and you know that behavior, you just put it in the chat and say it's Mace lying. And then another thing I want to look at in this whole entire case, right? I heard something about 50 or 25,000 a cheek.
25,000 a cheek.
That's what she texted him. She need 25,000 per cheek.
What are you doing with a cheek to pay 25?
Again, we talked about that yesterday. The 25 per cheek was because she was having him pay for the apology of fucking the girl on Instagram Live. She asked for 50. He was being slow with the 50. You know, Uncle Shay Shay, he got them big thumbs. He couldn't type quick enough. She sent him the PayPal. He couldn't get the, Uncle Shay Shay, like he couldn't get to that too quickly. So she was trying to expedite the process. She sent him a nude picture. She was split wide eagle. The ass was plump as, I got the full pictures now. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shannon done leaked the picture. Well, I don't know if y'all got those. I got the full pics. It's crazy. I think Shannon saw that shit and nearly busted a blood vessel. Her ass fatter than a swamp possum, nigga. So she was waiting for the 50K, so she sent the shit spread eagle. The pussy look, oh my God, like a Georgia peach. And essentially, she said to him after that message, if you want this shit, send that bread. 25 per cheek. She already asked him for the 50K though.
If I hope all of this is untrue. If it is true, then they gotta do something about this. If ESPN can endure this, then they should give guys like Paul Pierce his job back.
Ooh. Mace is spitting now.
They should give Matt Barnes his job back.
Yep.
And even Michael Irvin, our own Michael Irvin, should get his job back.
Yeah.
If people are not just gonna, honor what they supposed to honor, to me, I believe that he should keep his job if he's innocent. But if he's guilty and ESPN keeps him, then ESPN need to give all those people their job back. But I don't really know how this is going to turn out.
That's very true.
And I saw really was the interview with Stephen A. when he was speaking of it. And I was watching it very carefully, Killer.
Stephen A. said something about this already?
Yeah, because Stephen A., he didn't stand with Shannon Sharp like he stood with Jay-Z. When he heard about Jay-Z, he said, the guy I know, this is not true. When it came to Shannon, he was like, I wasn't there.
In a nutshell, yeah.
I gotta keep it static, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't there for Jay-Z neither. Word, you wasn't there for Jay-Z. You were not there for Jay-Z, but you went out on a limb because of the character of guy you know. So I'm not saying that you're wrong for that. I'm saying I would have thought that the same standard would be.
Now, we got to, let me speak a little bit more to this. Let's call a spade a spade. You see, everybody, this is why I say all these motherfuckers is phony. This is why you got no friends in this industry. People are always trying to judge a situation, wondering if you're completely done. Then secondly, they're also trying to judge a few other things. There's a few other variables you're judging, right? Like, for example, with Jay-Z, there was no, like, actual smoking gun where like, say, Jay-Z took a picture with the girl. None of these motherfuckers like anybody, even Stephen A. He don't like Jay-Z enough to be like, oh no, I know his character, I'm gonna vouch for him that much if there was like certain shit. My bad, my landscapers, I can hear them. The point is this. None of these guys fuck with each other enough. Like, for example, the reality with Shannon Sharp, that's why nobody gonna stand with him, is that for you to stand with Shannon Sharp, really, is to say, yo, bro, listen here, man. We all dealt with these little gold digging bitches before. We all had a chick that was, you know, you tricking on because we older, because that's what it is. Like, we ain't gonna be green. Like, yo, the nigga 50, she 20, he tricking a little bit, she putting that good old pussy on him. Check this out. Is he freaky? Yeah, he freaky. But she was into the freak shit too. Despite what you hearing on that audio, I don't think he really gonna choke her. Because we don't got, y'all gotta show me a picture of, or a video of her showing bruises of him choking. Well, even that, I ain't gonna lie. This is why this shit is kind of like fucked up. Because for anybody to stand with him, you have to give context to say, despite what I'm seeing on a video, an audio, or whatever, I believe my mans, and I believe this is a context. Number one, that's really putting your head on the guillotine for that. Because if something else come out, and I think also this idea, this is why Tony Busby don't have to release that sex tape. The mere fact they've described the sex tape to say it's a 30-second video of a nigga choking a chick out while he's fucking her, bruh, you can never defend, like, bro, nobody's gonna be like, no, put the whole sex. Bro, it's just too much shit. And, you know what I mean? A lot of that is Shannon Sharp's fault in, you know, allowing all that stuff to happen. I guess maybe he trusted her like that. But there is a slight difference between Jay-Z and this. I don't think that Stephen A. would have said this if there was audio of Jay-Z or pictures or videos of Jay-Z with that victim. People like Stephen A. are constantly weighing relationships because they're never cool with no one. They only see you as a business opportunity. You're Shannon Sharp, you're hot. Pause. Like you got a lot of buzz to you. You're a business opportunity until you're not. Jay-Z, you're not going to kick his back in because you think he's important in business until you know for sure everybody going to kick his back in. And the thing with the Jay thing, it was like, even though the accusations were damning, there was no hard proof coming. So it made it easier for these niggas to be like, you know what? And here's the thing. They curried some favor with Jay behind the scenes because now when Jay sees them or whoever the fuck he fucks with that might be cool with him, they're going to be like, yo, I appreciate you, how you spoke about me when I came up. So now they curried some favor with Jay. I think they would have gave Shannon Sharp the same amount of grace, except the hard evidence is too blatant. Like, what are you going to say? Let's say they drop the sex tape where he's choking the shit out of her and fucking her. You're going to be like, oh, no, you know, we all be on that freaky shit. No, we don't. Not everybody likes to choke chicks out on some BDSM shit like that. No. Well, what about this audio? He says he's going to choke her outside of sex. You're going to look crazy after a while. So, yeah.
There, right? If for a guy you work with every day. Well, not every day, but, you know.
Damn near.
And I'm not taking a shot at Stephen A. It's just an observation.
It does sound like you was taking shots at Stephen A. From what you saying, I didn't see Stephen A. shit, but what I'm gathering, what you said from Stephen A. said, he basically said, I don't know the nigga like that.
Well, I ain't putting my hundreds of millions on the line for him. And for him to offer 10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no 10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason that 10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about.
All right. Now, a lot of people are bringing up a lot of different clips, chat. Not going to lie to you, okay? So, for example, these clips are coming back to haunt Shannon. For example, the Monique clip. And I don't know if we've played the Monique clip. I think we did last night. But the Monique clip, and then specifically a Cat Williams clip. Let me play the Monique clip. Where is the Monique clip at? I feel like we played that before. Played it last night, but we'll play it again. Also, we get to the Sky Bree stuff because, you know, those clips were like surfacing. You know, Sky Bree, we'll talk about it in a second. Monique Shannon. Here we go.
Dating. What advice? If somebody, if a group of women were in here and they're like, come on, they talk to us. How this dating thing? Because it's Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say what you trying to say? Mo?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah.
Prophetic. Shorty says she needed a dick at 11:30. Shannon says it's too late.
To go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's gonna get your energy back.
Okay. Now, what also came out, and by the way, as I was mentioning Pimp, chat, do y'all think this is a coincidence? Is a few weeks ago this audio leaked, okay? So a few weeks ago this audio leaked. Now, let me give you some context. Apparently this is Matt Barnes trying to solicit information about Shannon Sharpe on the behalf of Shaquille O'Neal, because Shaquille O'Neal supposedly doesn't get along with Shannon Sharpe. And listen to this clip. This came out weeks ago. Now, Matt Barnes and everybody else been saying this is AI, but from it's one of those if you know joints. It don't seem like it's AI. It's one of those, you got somebody expose your voice notes or whatever to them, and now you're claiming it's AI. But it appears Matt Barnes, which I didn't know Matt Barnes was a do-boy, he was trying to solicit information or some type of info about Shannon Sharpe for Shaq. Listen to this.
I don't know if you're on this kind of time, but I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around, so just want to put that out there. name quiet. Hey, he said, please, please, please keep it quiet.
Now, some people think this was sent to me. Like, no, this was sent to someone else. They revealed it clearly.
He said that Shannon did some shit back to him a while back, and he's been off him. So that's why he's doing this. But please, please, please keep his name quiet.
Now, what does Shannon do? We're going to see in a second.
Have you guys talked? We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way. I said what I said. I still think Shaq is a phenomenal basketball player, even though, you know, he minimized my career. I'm fine. The thing is...
So, and I'm going to play a little video about their back and forth, but it's very interesting. Shaq, Shannon Sharpe beef. Hold on.
With Shannon Sharpe, episode 21, All the Smoke.
Okay, what is that? I'm trying to... Okay, this is part...
Hey, guys, it's your... Love always, the most dominating Joker, shows how smart...
So basically, Shannon Sharpe has said something, giving Jokic, like, some credit. And I think Shaq had said... You know, by the way, it's really like a stupid beef. And it goes to show... And respectfully, bro, I know I ain't in these niggas' leagues, and I know Shaq got something against me, which is, it kind of stems, like, Shaq is really petty. Like, bro, I really have no idea why Shaq is like this. Like, he's really fucking petty. I'll tell you my situation with him. The nigga felt away because I posted the Home Depot girl that he DM'd, and he felt I was getting it hot for all his bitches. Shaq is 60. I didn't know Shaq had mad bitches. It was only after I talked to Tusi and all these. Shaq DM'd everybody's girl. Like, Shaq is trying to fuck, like, Ari and all these other girls. Like, Shaq think he's 25. You know what I mean? It's all good. I get it. You're a billionaire. You're one of the best basketball players. I get it. But he was mad that I posted it. He's like, yo, I remember he said, yo, Ack, you broke? Like, why you posting? And I'm like, dog, you're Big Diesel. Like, you're messaging a girl from Home Depot. Everybody's going to post it. He was really upset. I realized afterwards he DM'd like 3 girls I've dealt with. I ain't gonna lie, I was talking like some girl not too long ago. Like, he DM'd her too. Like, nigga, it was like 4 weeks ago. I was like, how the hell? The chick got 300 followers. Shaq is obsessed. But I get it. He doesn't like me for that. But I'm also a little confused because I'm like, bro, you're a billionaire. Like, what's going on with you? Whatever it is. So I only say that to show how petty it is, right? So apparently his issue with Shannon Sharpe is that Shannon Sharpe basically called out Shaq after Shaq said that, I believe he said that Shai Gilchrist or whatever his name is, Shai, whatever his dude's name is, guy that plays on OKC. I don't know how to really say his name. He said he deserves the MVP. Shannon Sharpe actually says, I actually don't, like, Shaq must be, like, low-key hating on Jokic because Jokic deserves the MVP. And maybe Shaq is being a little bit of haterish because Shaq's a big man and Shaq's game wasn't like Jokic. Shaq went off on him on a Instagram post. Ever since then, Shaq has wanted to get this guy. Now, I could only attest to what I could attest to. Remember, Shaq got mad at me for one Instagram post. First of all, Shaq was talking gangster to me in the chat. Nigga, his messages with me was like almost like, yo, nigga, you know I could get you touched. And the whole time I'm looking, I'm like, nigga, aren't you a cop? Like, he's a cop in, like, Palm Beach. He was talking mad gangster to me, and I was just like, bro, you're like Big D. Like, you're my childhood hero. Like, calm it down. Yo, Shaq was talking so crazy to me. Nigga, I could even show you. I told Shaq, I said, bro, you're saying too much. Like, if you're really gangster like how you're talking, if something did happen to me, they're going to lock you up because of how you're threatening me in the DMs. Like, this is crazy. Just calm down, bro. Like, what are you doing? But that was a moment I was like, yo, the way how y'all look at Shaq is not how Shaq is. Because I've never interacted with him before. So I realized, and then I've learned other things afterwards. I learned that Shaq was allegedly getting extorted in L.A. when he was there. Shaq thought he was fucking with some Crips over there. Shaq's name came up in something like they're claiming he tried to put a hit on somebody. So Shaq really think he's gangster like that. And I didn't really believe none of that shit until, like, by the way, after me and him kind of got into it, because I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, because Shaq was like, now I'm going to see you, nigga. I'm going to see you. I'm going to get you touched. I'm like, what is Shaq talking about? Gilly from Gillian Wallow, or $1 Million Worth, he called me and be like, yo, Ak, what'd you do to Shaq? He's calling niggas about you. And I'm like, Shaquille O'Neal? So apparently Shaq think he's a thug. I'm going to be honest with you. He does think he's a thug. And when I now look at like his history, Shaq was involved in a case where somebody got killed. Where because he was with the Lakers, he avoided getting charged because they're not trying to charge a star Laker player with allegedly putting a hit on a nigga, but they charged somebody for killing a nigga. And according to the word in the street, it was because that person Shaq wanted eliminated. So even then I'm processing, wait, Shaq is getting niggas clapped? Like, that's crazy. You get what I'm saying? But apparently Shaq is like tied in with the streets and all that shit. Well, I really don't give a fuck. The point is this. Shaq's a billionaire now. He's retired from basketball. He's on ES or TNT or whatever the fuck he's on. Bro, everybody loves you. Even niggas who hate you love you. The mere fact he's so petty,
boy.
It's either he got too much money or there's some other issue going on. I don't really care to know.
Got a little piece left
But
too,
when
bro.
it came to the Shannon Sharp shit, I was like, I thought it was just me. Because I know rappers don't like me for whatever reason. You get what I'm saying? But with the Shannon Sharp shit, I'm like, wait, Shannon just disagreed with you and kind of like called you a hater.
This shit got me hooked at the job, bro. I ain't gonna
Because he went off on his tirade. This is what Shannon's about to read.
Ocho, everyone's family. Okay. Shaq, about the comments that I said last night.
By the way, if y'all think anything I'm lying, my nigga, listen, I could do a deep dive on it if y'all want.
Right, she turned down the 10 mil.
So somebody was acting like they had Shaq's sex tapes back in the day, okay? Or whatever the case. By the way, this also connects to Whack 100. Right? There was supposed to be some extortion shit. Shaq murder for hire. Just search that. Bro, just search it. Look, the nigga testified, Shaq told me to kill people. Brother, I'm not making this shit up. So again, like, I remember when Shaq was talking so crazy, I was like, what the fuck? So after I had to do a whole deep digging into Shaq's history, because even when I was talking to Gilly, Gilly was like, yo, Ak, I'm gonna be honest with you, Shaq tapped in with the streets. I'm like, bro, we're talking about Superman, the nigga who like fucking is the big goofball at the NBA All-Star games, like dribbling like crazy, and we laugh at him and we love him, and they're like, no, he's tapped in, and I'm like, what? But I went into all his history. Shaq think he a street nigga. This is a fact. Shaq think he's a street nigga, and there's multiple cases. He hasn't. Well, actually, he did hit up a chick I was talking to like a few weeks ago. Which I'm gonna say, Shaq. I'm gonna keep it cute with you from here on. If you want me to go do a whole deep dive on your history,
bro,
nigga,
you want that
don't
young
end up
bitch?
like Shannon.
Like, what the fuck? I don't know what to do with a young ass bitch.
Because as much money as you think you got, I got
they
a
young,
lot
bro.
of motherfucking
Then I
time.
feel like I'm a predator at that point.
And I'm only saying that because Shaq is playing bully in the background. He's the whatever you're hearing this nigga said. Me and Tusi got on the phone. Was like, why this nigga my baby mom?
So I'm saying,
Shaq, I don't
okay,
know what
a
the fuck
freshman,
going on with him.
a
Just
freshman
leave me
in
alone,
college.
I hear you getting niggas clapped.
You want to date
just leave me alone.
old nigga
I
like me?
I'll actually try to talk because I don't want to be beefing with you. I like you, like nigga. I play when I play 2K. Like you're one of the characters I play. So let's not beef. But if you hit up another one, like another chick or doing some weird shit with me, I might have to just spend a week breaking down all the allegations that you try to get people killed. Okay? But I don't want to do that. All right? And also, the reason why your name is getting thrown up in this.
Right.
Exactly. So anyway, I just had to put that out there because all that little lovable Shaq shit is like, I'm telling you, it's all cap. All cap. Like, nigga talk like he's the Big U descendant. Except Big U broke compared to him. Like, he's rich. You know what I mean? Shaq ain't gonna bust a grape and fruit fight. But he'll pay for niggas to get you hemmed up, beat up, shot, stabbed, killed. And the funny thing, and I'm like, nigga, you know, this could be an open air. Like, Shaq, nobody's impervious. It don't matter how long you live on this earth, my nigga. They'll get you at some point. Like, just calm it down. You're a legend. You got a statue outside the fucking crypto arena. Relax. Anyway, I know how petty that nigga is. Okay, I'm telling you personally, I know how petty he is. I've been trying to chat, and I've been trying to apologize to Shaq for like a year now on stream. The nigga is petty, and I'm telling you everything about it. And I only fell back because I realized he's been accused of getting niggas clapped, and I'm like, I like living, and I don't want Shaq using his $1 million for trying to get me eliminated. Okay, Shaq, I got no problem with you, but I do think some of Shannon's problems. Probably, Shaq is the type of nigga who will put money in the streets to fuck with his ops. So this whole Shannon Sharp shit, and I'm gonna play you the audio. Wait, hold on. We already just played the audio. Let me play the audio again.
He said
Matt Barnes runs the whole podcast. Why the hell Matt Barnes sounded like he's Lil Woody on the phone? Why are you saying this?
I don't know. It's all messy. I think he should have known better. But it is what it is, bro.
I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday.
He was feeding into the taboo.
Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if y'all that kind of time or not. But Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around. So
let's look up. What's her name? Be on his training. Shit.
Yo, Shannon Sharp, bro. Like, I seen it. Like, I was looking at like everything that's.
All right, so let's look this nigga up. Alleged. Not the pussy fat. What's on Instagram? They be freaked out. Oh yeah, they want to get fucked up. I'm already knowing. Yeah, I am not associated with Shannon Sharp. I'm from Canada, so this is not her. I guess she took down her page.
For $100,000. ESPN contributor Shannon Sharp announced Thursday he's stepping away from the network as he faces a $50 million lawsuit on allegations that he raped a woman who he had a relationship with. While he contends with that suit, additional incidents from his past have come to light. Before Shannon Sharp's time at ESPN, where he was the co-host of FS1's Undisputed, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace. Two sources with knowledge of the incident tell Front Office Sports. One source says Shannon and Fox settled with the accuser for several $100,000. There was no lawsuit filed against Shannon Sharp in the incident. A rep for Shannon Sharp told Front Office Sports there was no incident of choking involving Shannon Sharp on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. For further details, we recommend contacting Fox directly. A Fox Sports spokesperson declined to comment prior to the statement from Sharp's camp and could not be immediately reached for a follow-up. Sharp co-hosted Undisputed from 2016 to 2023, which is 7 years. The timing of the incident was unknown. In 2010, Sharp briefly stepped away from his role on CBS NFL Today studio show. After he was accused of sexual assault, he returned to the network after a restraining order was dismissed. Earlier this week, a woman filed a lawsuit in Nevada accusing Sharp of raping her. The woman, represented by attorney Tony Busby, has previously filed lawsuits against Deshaun Watson, Jay-Z, and Diddy, said in the lawsuit that when she was 19, she met Sharp at a gym in 2023. Sharp is now 56. He was 54 then, by the way. The lawsuit claimed that the two had a consensual relationship that grew tense when Sharp went on Instagram Live last October having sex with another woman. Okay? Sharp said it was by accident. Busby later released audio of Sharp threatening to choke the accuser, and Sharp's lawyer, Lanny Davis, has claimed that Sharp and the plaintiff engaged in role-playing. By the way, it's very interesting, and, you know, that's kind of what this reminds me of? Andrew Tate, BDSM, I think he spoke about this, because he said like some of the things he got accused of, like, for example, he's on tape like beating a woman, but he says no, it's not him beating a woman, it's role playing. Actually, the woman herself, she came out and said this.
Hi, I'm pretty sure many of you have seen a video of Andrew Tate beating up a woman.
There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends.
And I'm pretty sure now so many of you have seen the same woman coming forward with a statement saying it was nothing but a sex play. So here I am again for the second time. Yes, the woman who is beaten up, and the same woman who has made a statement is me. So I'm coming forward for the second time to just clarify and let everybody know it was nothing but a sex play, consensual foreplay that we like doing, that I was into, that I wanted. It was not abuse. There was no physical domestic violence happening. It was a consensual sex play. This is the second time I'm making the statement because I'm getting sick and tired of being tagged, saying I need to come forward again, even though I did. And I don't like seeing injustice of him being called woman beater for the same video that I've already.
Now, clearly, she's saying I was down with the kinkiness. It wasn't him beating my ass. This was role play. Obviously, in the Shannon Sharp situation, the woman is saying him threatening me and some other context, no. Like, yeah, we did do role playing, but no, it went much further than that, right? So, let me see if we had the Andrew Tate, him explaining the BDSM stuff. Because I think he did try to. Okay, I can't really find it. But that's kind of... that's kind of how Andrew Tate kind of, like, people use it to be like, oh, that's evidence of him doing some sex trafficking. Look, he has these women tied up. He's beating them. And he's like, no, that's some kinky shit. So really, some of this kinky shit that could be taken out of context when, I don't know, maybe you and the girl don't get along no more and now she don't like you or whatever the case is, or shit, now the government want to give you a sex trafficking charge for whatever reason. This kinky play where, like, you're choking a girl or beating her up could look different depending on when, right? Here we go. Busby later. Okay, cool. It's her opinion that this is a classic case of blackmail. This is what Lanny Davis says. The plaintiff demanded tens of millions of dollars in a proceeding called mediation in return for her not publishing this tape. So look like her thing was, I'm going to drop this tape. Davis said that Sharp had offered at least $10 million to sell the lawsuit before it was filed, and they were blindsided when talks broke down and news of the lawsuit broke in the media. So, again, this is what I keep saying. I agree with Mace. There's a pimp involved. Like, who turns down just $10 million? She don't have a pot to piss in. And negotiations he's already offering $10 million, which means look like he's down to give some bread. How does it just immediately break down to the point where you're exposing him and you're filing this lawsuit? Maybe, or, you know, let me be fair. Maybe they thought it was going to be the same thing that happened to Diddy. Because remember, they said Cassie was asking Diddy for money, like $30 million. Diddy said, fuck no. as soon as he filed the lawsuit, or she filed the lawsuit, Diddy came paying in 24 hours. You remember that? You remember that? Cassie, 24 hours, Diddy, settlement, right? Y'all remember that? Because at first, he was not like, apparently they were talking in private, he wasn't going to pay. And then as soon as the lawsuit was filed, the shit got settled. Look, why did it look?
I really don't feel like...
Wait, what is this? Yeah, he has settled really quickly.
And right now, we're following breaking news tonight and what appears to be a huge development in the lawsuit involving Sean Combs. Moments ago, word coming out that Combs and R&B singer Cassandra Ventura have settled the lawsuit. Both sides releasing statements moments ago saying they agreed to resolve the matter amicably. The settlement comes one day after word of the lawsuit was filed, where she accused him of sexual assault. She claims while the two were dating, Combs raped her and forced her to have sex with male prostitutes.
Interesting. Okay. Says at this juncture, I'm electing to step aside. You know what people also pointed out? They said if you look at Shannon Sharp's message, so let's go to Shannon's page. They're saying, why the hell did Shannon just take a screenshot of a message sent to him? They're like, Shannon forgot to write this where it was blue. So if this is gray, meaning somebody sent this statement to him. And they're like, he just took a screenshot of the PR sending a statement to him rather than at least writing it himself. Like, nigga, at least copy and paste it to your notes. This makes it seem like this just came into your phone. You know what I mean? And they're saying, they're like, his lawyers watching him just take a screenshot of what the PR said and put it up there. Yeah, this was clearly sent to him, right? My statement is found here. This is the truth, right? Looked like he cropped out everything else. Oh, man. Look at this. Shannon Sharp screenshot. Look. Wait. This is Shannon Sharp lawyers watching him post a screenshot of their PR statement. They're like, yo, Unc is still unking, man. Oh, man. They're like, oh, nah, don't tell me Unc is still unking, bro. Say it ain't so. Anyway.
And make its assessment whether this is the normal and natural behavior of somebody who was blackmailed to offer the money and then to talk about it later, that the money was offered in a failed attempt to avoid the thing that the blackmailer said the blackmailer was going to do, or whether an offer of $10 million at some level suggests that maybe he had a reason unrelated to not being blackmailed to offer the $10 million. Either way, I think that having that number out there raises the stakes. It makes it a bigger deal. And I think it fairly requires ESPN to take a closer look at this, since they put him on their air. And there's surely a clause, I would assume, I don't know, haven't seen his contract. There's got to be language in there, though, if it's anything like my contract, that there are certain lines you cross in your private life, and you got a problem with your contract with ESPN. And to the extent that he's shopping his podcast, his deal with the volume is up. There's been a suggestion it's a nine-figure, $100 million deal that might be done. I just think that there's due diligence that now needs to be exercised, knowing what we know. And in the effort to create whatever impression Lanny Davis hopes to create by sharing with the world that at least $10 million was offered before the case was filed, all I'm saying is I'm not sure it's going to go that way. And I appreciate the fact that he acknowledges it's my opinion, that I'm not stating any fact. I'm sharing the fact that Davis said at least $10 million was offered. It's my opinion that the average person who hears, I didn't do anything, this is all made up, I'm being blackmailed, and who hears, oh, by the way, I offered at least $10 million. It's not the easiest mental gymnastics routine to engage in to come to the conclusion that the offer of $10 million is consistent with the normal, usual, routine behavior of someone who was approached with a proposition that they regard as blackmail. That's all I have to say about the matter for now. But I can tell based upon the interest that's out there, the reaction to the prior video I did, the traffic that our stories on this is doing, this is something that people are naturally interested in. They want to see how this goes. This happens all the time. There are different cases that pop up that capture our interest and our attention, and it feels like this is going to be one of those. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how it goes. But as it unfolds...
Now, what compounds this is that they're looking at Shannon Sharpe like, I don't look at him any type of way, but they're looking at him like, bro, you have a history of this. They're actually looking at him like Deshaun Watson. Remember I told you, when you dig a hole, dig two. Because what's compounded this is that, like, 15 years ago, he was working for CBS. And he caught an allegation of sexual assault. And I think he had left CBS. But now they're saying, bruh, this ain't the first time. Let's go back to this.
I'm Christy Duffy for Smart Trend News, and yet another shocking sports-related rape case. CBS sports analyst and former NFL tight end Shannon Sharpe took a, quote, leave of absence after accusations surfaced that he had allegedly raped and threatened to kill a woman. According to legal documents obtained by Sports by Brooks, Sharpe's accuser claimed that the renowned tight end, quote, forced her to have sex with him, threatens her life, and, quote, places her under surveillance and calls to say he is watching her. Sharpe joined CBS in 2004 after finishing his 13-year NFL career. When he retired, he held the all-time record for receiving yards for all tight ends. Smart Trend is bullish on shares of CBS, and our subscribers were alerted to buy September 2nd when our stock was at a price of $14.83 per share. The stock has risen near 4% since that alert was issued. I'm Christy Duffy for Smart Trend News. For further updates, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trade the Trend. Also visit our website, tradethetrend.com, for more on our Smart Trend alert system.
Now, you know who's also give great commentary about this?
Blah, blah, blah. What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus
Wallace
Wally, Dad, dude. It's over for Shannon Sharpe at ESPN for now. I repeat, for now. So I'm at an investors conference, and I was listening to some pitches, decided to take a break, went to the bar to hydrate, opened up my phone, and boom, Shannon's X account has this screenshot. Quote, my statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I've received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues. Shannon Sharpe. Wow. Kaboom. A lot of conversation about would Shannon Sharpe be able to keep his job throughout this litigation process. We now know that answer. What happened? What changed the hearts? What changed the minds of those ESPN executives? Because when the allegations first hit, Shannon Sharpe was allowed to still come on air. Something changed. We'll talk through that. But first, I want you guys to all know, what did Shannon Sharpe sign on to when he signed to go to ESPN? Here's their conduct policy. You will act at all times with due regard to public morals and conventions. You shall refrain from any offensive or distasteful remarks or conduct in the production and broadcast of the programs. If at any time you shall do or have done any act or thing that would amount to a felony or misdemeanor under federal, state, or local laws, or which tends to bring you or us into public disrepute, scandal, or ridicule, or which might insult or offend the community or substantial group thereof, or which might reflect unfavorably on us or injure the success of the programs, we shall have the right to terminate this agreement at any time before the expiration of 30 days after the date on which we acquire knowledge thereof. Just wanted to clarify for everybody out there, there was a 30-day clock that started the day that ESPN found out about these allegations in terms of enforcing their conduct policy. So now, let's get into this, because Shannon Sharpe, like everybody, was under the presumption of innocence when the allegations first hit. He actually
wait, where did he get that info? Is it from his? I think he worked for ESPN at a while, so he's reading what probably was in his shit, right?
Success of the programs or misdemeanor under.
Here we go.
Go to ESPN. Here's their conduct policy. Come on air. Something changed. We'll talk through that. But first, I want you guys to all know, what did Shannon Sharpe sign on to when he signed to go to ESPN? Here's their conduct policy. You will act at all times with due regard to public morals and conventions. You shall refrain from any offensive or distasteful remarks or conduct in the production and broadcast of the programs. If in at any time you shall do or have done any act or thing that would amount to a felony or misdemeanor under federal, state, or local laws, or which tends to bring you or us into public disrepute, scandal, or ridicule, or which might insult or offend the community or substantial group thereof, or which might reflect unfavorably on us or injure the success of the programs, we shall have the right to terminate this agreement at any time before the expiration of 30 days after the date on which we acquire knowledge thereof. Just wanted
so he's saying basically, if Shannon has survived 30 days, they would be bunkering down with him. But if he didn't, they got him out of here.
Clarify for everybody out there, there was a 30-day clock that started the day that ESPN found out about these allegations in terms of enforcing their conduct policy. So now, let's get into this, because Shannon Sharpe, like everybody, was under the presumption of innocence when the allegations first hit. He actually still is. But here's the problem. There are two ways to fight allegations like this. The traditional method, which you let your lawyers speak and you put out that blanket statement that says, I'm going to let due process take care of itself and we'll discuss this in the court of law, blah, 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 right? And then there's the newer model, which Jay-Z took, which is come out swinging, and not only swinging, but successfully winning that fight, getting the case dismissed, turning the plaintiff into a...
I'm glad he's saying that, because he's making a good point right here. If Shannon clearly is taking Jay-Z's approach, right? Except his lawyer isn't Alex Spiro. Second of all, Jay-Z had investigators go dig up that woman's past. They start bringing so much shit to the table that the lawyer for the woman, they were blindsided. Like, what? They were going behind the lawyer's back to go talk to the woman. It seems like Shannon don't got nothing on her but the messages. And they probably looked at all the messages already. Like the woman's lawyer, which is Busby. So unless Shannon had some other shit, I don't know, some ring camera footage, some this, some that kind of like, oh shit. It don't seem Shannon got it. He, now he couldn't wait to go. He could hire some investigators to go dig up her life and figure out, I don't know, maybe she got a gay best friend that she was talking to the whole time about. No, I'm gonna set this nigga Shannon up, and maybe that best friend not cool with her no more, and he's down to like maybe he secretly recorded a video of her saying it. You don't got time for that, Shannon. It's you want that $100 million, you panicking.
Defendant in a countersuit and suing them for defamation along with the lawyer. Now, that's a knockout blow. Shannon Sharpe chose the Jay-Z route. He even mentioned Jay-Z in one of his responses to these allegations. Here's the problem with the Jay-Z route, what Shannon is going through right now. Because when you go, if anybody's ever been in a fight, and you win that fight, people gonna know you still been in a fight, even if you're victorious. So, ESPN didn't sign up for a fight with Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe signed on to ESPN saying everything in that conduct policy I would adhere to. So with the presumption of innocence, all of a sudden they had a change of heart, change of mind, and said, hey, we'll allow you to put out this press release. We'll allow you to mention it first. You can say we're mutually parting ways for now, whatever you want to say.
Just like I said.
But we can't continue our relationship for now. We'll see if that's forever when the NFL preseason starts. But here's the problem with it. And these are some of the missteps. And I've heard a lot of people talk about these missteps, and I discussed them as well. When you come out swinging, you got to remember they're going to fight back as well. And in this situation, leaking text messages, audio leaks of you privately going to choke her and publicly going to choke her, and even the racial elements of a black man versus a white woman, and those conversations that were leaked to the public. And even Shannon's response where he said that the lawyer has a vendetta against black men and black celebrities, whatever it may be. ESPN didn't sign up for that. Disney didn't sign up for that. Those are demographics that they respect. And no matter what you caught yourself into, whatever you stepped into, Shannon Sharpe, ESPN doesn't have to step with you.
Okay, let me get Cam in here real quick. This is my man Cameron, and he's actually making a different point, but he's also saying he gonna give some tips, to men to know you're being lined up. I want to see what he gonna say.
But the first thing I took from this when I heard it was, look, he was living in California and moved to Nevada. She moved from California to Nevada too. So if somebody's being abusive to you in one state, why would you move to the next state with the same nigga who's abusing you? I don't know. Me personally, I found the red flag with that personally. And then the next thing is this sex tape that's supposedly coming out. Shannon said, put the whole 30 minutes out or 10 minutes, whatever it is. I guess there's some part in there for 30 seconds because Unc brought that up. Shannon brought that up. He said, I believe he's going to release 30 seconds of it. Whatever that 30 seconds is must be nasty and violent and fucked up. If you don't want to put the whole 10 minutes and you reducing it to that 30, it must have been WWE in that joint. Elbow off the top of the bed, off the thrower against the dresser. You white little bitch. Come here, suck big black dick. Fuck you talking about? You want nigga dick? I get that part. I get it.
Yo, Cam, you know exactly how it is, niggas. Like that one scene in Paid in Full. Yo, throw that ass back. Throw that ass back. Like all of that. Yeah, that's how, Cam, you know how it is. Who remember that scene in Paid in Full? Who remember that scene? It'd be like, yo, AOB, like, yo, listen, what's the point of having soldiers if you don't use them? Because that nigga right there, yo, he's getting money and pussy. Who remember that scene?
Tell white bitches you want that nigga dick. But it's consensual. They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these bitches since 20 years old.
Yo, this show is lit.
They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different...
Yo, hey, be like, yo, what's up, man? Be like, yo, what's up? What's up, B? Yo, I'm living. You're right. That's what he said. I'm living. You know that scene. I don't even want to play. I don't even know if I can play it on here.
Realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these bitches since 20 years old. I know what you up to. I know when a bitch try to bait me in a text message to say some dumb shit. I ain't writing it back. You right. And I'm not writing nothing back. You can't get me to write a damn thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. You gotta know. See, that's the fucked up thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like.
That's a fact.
I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say.
That's a fact. Yo, Killer. Yo, Killer the greatest, bro. I'll be dick around when it comes to camera, right? Bitch, that ain't something you really say. I don't want. Now I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to get choked. I'm like, nah. There's no way. Unc used to be having them freaky conversation and she sounded like that.
Thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. You gotta know. See, that's the fucked up thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like. I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say. Hold on. You don't usually talk to me like this. Why are you talking to me like this now? Yo, I'm going to hit you back.
I'm going to hit you back. Boom.
And then you know when shit ain't right, you be like, when you answer the phone, they be like, hello, hello, hello. They setting up. Oh, I can hear you now. They done set the call up. You got to read all these signs, bro. And you got to think about this, right? This is why, and a lot of people call this nigga Uncle Tom, and he don't like black people, or this, that, and the third, et cetera, et cetera. This is why Stephen A. don't get into no shit like this. And I'm going to say none of us is above it, knock on wood, but he knows he works for Disney. When you work for Disney, a sex tape can't be coming out like this. You can't be admitting that, 30 seconds of this shit was kind of rough. I'm letting y'all know. Shit get a little wild. But Disney, like, 30 seconds get what? Yo, this Mickey Mouse in there. What you mean 30 seconds get wild? I think that Disney...
Nah, 30 seconds was crazy. Like, y'all got to see the whole thing. Like, now I was going crazy with it.
He's getting a little more lenient because of shit like Pat McAfee, cursing at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Not just that, Shannon had a little sex tape that he admitted to, not in visual, just vocal. So I think it's a little more lenient, and I hope that Disney does keep him. I'm rooting for him because I do believe this is a shakedown. But when you start getting the video evidence and vocal evidence.
Killer the GOAT still. Now, the Breakfast Club jumped in and they said, yo, Shannon he's playing all the wrong cards.
And abuse me, daddy. And you can see when these text messages were released, you can see it says like from Gabby to owner. So it's painting a picture that their relationship was giving that, there was role play and everything that were happening. Now,
it was a very unfortunate situation.
It's
horrible situation.
But let me ask
Shannon Sharpe and his lawyer have handled this whole situation terribly. First of all, if you're saying this Sharpe, you shouldn't be saying anything.
No, he shouldn't.
Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up and continue to allow your lawyer to do his job. And your lawyer said out of his own mouth that you was close to a $10 million settlement with that girl. That right there is all the more reason to shut the F up. I'm not here to speak to Shannon's guilt or innocence because I don't know, but I do know attempting to settle looks like an admission of guilt because I'm not settling.
Yeah, or you're just scared.
Yeah.
Honestly, you just probably scared.
I'm with you, Charlamagne. I feel like he's being advised wrong, right? And when people go through this, they go to an attorney because the attorney usually knows what's best for them. They usually know what to do. And in this situation, like any attorney would say, shut the F up and let's deal with it in court. Let's deal with facts because you can't change public opinion unless it's in court with facts. Now, but one thing I would say, if somebody said this, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and you put it in my beep and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. If that didn't happen, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, we agreed on this. I'm not going to be like, I'll call you later because I'm feeling like this is a setup right here.
Absolutely.
As soon as Envy, you're right with that. I'll be like, you fucking liar. Yo, get off my phone with that bullshit. Yo, get off my phone with this fuck shit you talking about. Like, yo, bro, what are you talking about?
Me this, I'm gonna feel a little, and nobody's just gonna respond. I'll call you later. You're gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? We both agreed to this. Like this is part of the game. Like, nobody's gonna respond with that, which scares me. But like,
yo, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Uncle Shay Shay, he should have watched This by Kevin Hart. I think Shannon thought some of this freaky talk was also for outside the bedroom. I ain't gonna lie. Chat, this is a real story. I've dealt with a girl who liked for extreme shit talking when you with her. Like she would say like, yo, fuck me like a slut. And I'm like, but I like you. I don't want to do that. I just kind of want to make love to you type shit. I ain't gonna lie, I'm soft. It's okay. But now she was like, nah, fuck me like a slut, like a hoe. And I'm like, okay. And then she'll be like giving instructions like, call me a bitch. So after like a couple weeks, I'm like, man, take that dick, bitch. I'm over here into this shit. It wasn't until we're not having sex no more. And I'm like, yo, come here, bitch. And she was like, what? You call me bitch? What the fuck? Why you disrespecting me like that, nigga? And I'm like, wait. That's when I realized I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't want to play this game no more. This game is not cool no more. This game is not cool no more. This game's not cool no more. This game ain't cool. She would say some shit. She was like, yeah, I'm daddy's slut. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, you're daddy's slut. Yeah, okay. I'm just like pounding it out. She'd be like, tell me I'm your bitch. You my bitch. And I'm piping her out. To the point that I start ad-libbing now. This is weeks in. I'm like, yo, bitch, take that fucking dick. Nigga, one time, tell you, we're just chilling. Like, we ain't doing nothing sexual. I was just like, yo, come here, bitch. You call me a bitch, nigga? Yo, what you think this is? Yo, you don't got no respect. That's why I can't fuck with you. You got no respect for me. And I'm like, I said, you know what? I don't know when to do it and when not to do it. I'm going to just stop with all that, period. Word too, bro. Man, Uncle Shay needed to know and say, bro.
Like Charlamagne said, shut the F up. Let the facts play out in court, because right now all this talking is doing too much.
Audio.
And it's making it worse.
Even audio. And she was like, you're manipulating.
The sad thing for Shannon Sharpe is that I think he thought, like, as a man, the more info you put out there, and especially if you're on some sexual freaky shit, like, it's not going to make you look innocent. It's just going to look crazier. They're like, yo, this nigga's on some shit. Has Dr. Umar commented on the latest? We need Dr. Umar. Is Dr. Umar commenting on the latest? Man, Shannon Sharpe is already out at... he's already out at motherfucking ESPN. Oh, we're getting more information. Those close to Shannon Sharpe are adamant his relationship with the rape accuser was purely a BDSM one where the two would meet up for rough sex about once a week and nothing more. Sources close to the Pro Football Hall of Famer tells TMZ Sports on Thursday that the ex-NFL star engaged in kinky, consensual sexual activity with Jane Doe about 100 times in both Los Angeles and Nevada from late 2022 to January 2025. They insist that while the intimate encounters featured... Wait, how would your friends know you choking the shit out of her? Unless was he showing them the videos and shit? I don't know. How does his friends know, like, how y'all were fucking? I ain't gonna lie to you. I would feel a little bit weird if my friends knew exactly how I was fucking my girl. Like, wait, well, hold on. How do you know this shit, my nigga? They insist that while the intimate encounters featured choking and role-playing, none of it was ever non-consensual. How do they know? Or forcible sex. In fact, the sources added it was his accuser, a OnlyFans model who requested most of the physical acts, claiming her text messages showed she'd like to be tied up and wear a dog collar in some of their time between the sheets. Numerous texts from her, they say, capture her demands, including one where she says, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. The sources were adamant the duo's relationship never once reached boyfriend. All right, see, this is how you, let me tell you this. Anytime a girl's trying to, like, say some shit about you, they're going to get 10 times madder when you're like, that wasn't even my girl. Because in her mind, those years, she was your girl. Now, granted, Shannon was fucking mad at other girls. But in her mind, she was Shannon's girl. So when Shannon's, like, denying that, she gets 10 times madder. She going to tell that nigga to leave.
Kaze is coming to Brawl Stars on the 24th and she's pretty complex, so here's everything you need to know. She will be the first of the new rarity Ultra Legendary. That means she's 2 brawlers in 1. 4 gadgets, 4 star powers, 2 hypercharges and different mechanics. Kaze is able to swap between Geisha and Ninja mode in-game by using your gadget. In Geisha mode, Kaze will dash forward with her main attack. It looks like you are able to decide how long the dash is, which is pretty cool. The area of her main attack has a